Connection.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, Broadcasting Live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass broadcast of no man is got my point. Got a full house today. Miss Jeannie, AC.
Woo! What's happening for him?
With the big sniper rifle. And we're going to have a co-host today and guest will be Beckett. And you've seen the video. I haven't. I'm going to decide to react to it. I guess all four of us are going to react to it. I purposely stayed away from it because I want to do it. I think it's more fun to do it cold in some cases. But you have some takeaways from the MrBeast oompaville video, and I'd like to hear some of them, and then maybe we could find out where we're going to go, how we're going to watch this whole video. Beckett,
yeah, God, fuck, this is such a weird one to see. I will say, like, it's really interesting to watch the lineup of kind of content that's come out since Soggy's video here, because you've got like Soggy's video, then you had the Cold Ones thing that came out.
What happened with Cold
Ronaldo
Ones?
Interview. Well, I mean, MrBeast was on Cold Ones.
Ronaldo was on Cold Ones, and I missed it. What?
And then you had another video essay with or like fucking breakdown with a load of the employees. And then you've got this oompaville interview, which seems to have like supplanted the Pegasus one. So it's definitely an interesting sort of like rush of content. And it feels like Jimmy's been, I don't know, pulled in a direction. Like he's like, oh, now's the time to talk, and then somebody else has been kind of selective with who he's talked to and who people have talked to since then.
Well, I think it's clear on Cold Ones because he had to drink his sorrows away after the dog pack video.
Well, I don't have problems. You know, Dog Pack's video, whatever he got right, is definitely salacious and it's definitely slanderous. So if he we all go into as a comedy when we go into our little commentary wars, we go into our bunker and come out with the best plan. Why can't he? I don't particularly have a problem with that. If you're taking money from him, you might be fucking your own credibility up. But I don't really have a problem. Well, he's doing damage control. Well, yeah, no shit. Anybody's going to do damage control in a situation like this, I would imagine. Am I wrong? I guess no, maybe so.
No, I think that's reasonable. I think choosing Oompa for the interview.
Oh, come on, we always did that. I mean, look, I have a real good. I liked him, but I said before, I kind of got the feeling that he's good at reading people and telling people what they want to fucking hear. And I get that. It's not the best if you want. It's not the best place to go if you want a hard hitting interview. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted a hard hitting interview. I think they wanted
a hard hitting interview. If you wanted a hard hitting interview, that was fair. You should go to me.
60 minutes with MrBeast.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be 60 minutes because I only got 60. Like everybody else has got talking for 3 fucking hours. I'm not sure.
This is 150 minutes.
I think ultimately it's because probably the worst received Dog Pack interview was the one with Oompa because it was so softball. So I think that's why they chose this one. It's like a counterpart to that. And I mean, Nick pointed out that Oompa kind of had like 24 hours to prepare. He was like told MrBeast is coming in the next day. And Nick's right in that that's not a lot of time for the biggest YouTuber on the planet to turn up at your fucking house and be like, hey, we're doing this. So it's kind of a bit limiting.
If you wanted to be hard hit, if you wanted to respect, like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to have to schedule another day. But then you lose MrBeast.
Yeah,
but you also lose credibility because I got to be fair to Nick. I don't know if we'd afford that kind of excuse for somebody else. I mean, all right, so what? You know, and
this is like getting a visit from the Godfather.
How long do you? How long? See, I don't. I would. I really don't. I could talk to him for 45 minutes. You know, and the only way it would go longer than that, 45 minutes to an hour, is if we got in a fight. You know, that's the way I would do it. But yeah, there's some truth in that. You need a certain amount of time to prepare. But if you let him, if he says, well, this is the only time I'm doing it, and that's what I was like, no, like you got to pull a Rogan, fucking Kamala Harris, if you want the respect. If you just want the interview, which I'm sure Oompa was, you know, then that's fine. But you don't get the respect. If like, because you can say no. So I'm not going to subscribe to that. But yeah, Nick's right in one sense, like that's difficult. You know, he's got to make a decision. This is the decision that he made. Is that fair?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. There is one response I've seen, which is apparently from oompaville, on something completely separately. So something popped up on like YouTube, the YouTube drama subreddit, basically saying that in 2021, MrBeast and the startup Creative Juice invested $250,000 in 4 creators, which included oompaville. And oompaville responded to this and basically said, look, that's not accurate. I've never spoken to Jimmy. This contract was like fucking devastating for me. In fact, it's actually been hell to deal with. It nearly financially ruined me. But at the end, he said, my relationship with CJ had nothing to do with Jimothy Beast. I'm poor at interviewing and wanted to give him the same conversation potential as I did Dawson, who I'd consider a friend, which I thought was a really interesting sentence. So, I mean,
Jesus.
You know,
yeah, it just, I mean, here's the thing. I guess, like, I'm not all for applying journalistic standards for people who aren't journalists, but I am when you get to this level. And then you got to be, like, it was my whole issue with the Soggy video. It was journalistic failure. And I think at that level, you can't present something as proof that's not actually proof. You can't fucking selectively edit. You can't say somebody said something they didn't, or leave the context out, or omit stuff. And when you completely do that, that's why I think Soggy's video is an utter failure. Because those are unchangeable facts. They're objective facts. All those things happened. And they're not. That's it. But at the end of the day, Soggy's not. He's just a YouTuber. He's not a journalist. But once you get in the ring, and he got in the ring, you're open to that type of criticism. And I think
so. Your problem is the stolen valor of it. Stolen valor for journalists.
No, not Mo. I hate journalists. No, God, me. I hate journalists. No,
they're braver than the U.S. Marines.
You talk to them, they'll tell you that too. But no, I think there is a level that once you get to that, you should be held up to some kind of standard. And you know, when you selectively edit, you break that. And if for some reason that particular situation where the company got in and was involved with MrBeast, I think that's valid to bring up. You know, I think all these things are valid to bring up. I mean,
this is the point about journalism generally. Like, people look at it now, but my defense of kind of why the internet is important is when we go back to like early journalism, it wasn't like big buildings and millions of dollars. It was it was a working class job of people just going and talking about this.
Yeah.
Well, but this is like the YouTube of like 10 years ago was almost a return to that. It was like the average person getting a voice again. And it's like, look, I'd never consider myself a journalist. I consider myself at best a pretty shitty shit poster. But, you know, like, I get the argument that, yeah, you should be thorough. And if you're sat there, you know, oompaville describing himself as a mid-sized channel at like a couple of million subs, but that is a pretty large platform to reach people, you know.
It's a huge platform, man. Oh, I'm just your average YouTuber getting by. No, motherfucker, that's me. Fuck you. I'm working with a few grand a month. Go fuck yourself. You know. Like, get the fuck out of here. oompaville. Now, look, one of the things I liked oompaville. I got to interview him, and I was lucky to interview him. He's great on lolcow, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if the fans did. But I planned to fuck with him a little bit, but I really couldn't because, you know, he just was honest with me, and that's. You tell me what I want to hear, and if you're just straight up honest and you're not aggressive, then I can't flip the switch and be Tommy C the jerk off, because then I'm going to make myself a jerk off. I can only do it if you go. I knew in the interview, like, because I was like, yeah, that's really interesting. I was like, oh my god, he's got me. Shit. And there was nothing I really could do with it without making myself just like what Keemstar wanted me to do to who was the first guy we interviewed when he did a video, the down the rabbit hole guy?
June the King.
Yeah, June the King. He's like, oh, you should have told me he's a fucking asshole. Like, what, make myself the asshole? No. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I knew it was gonna be a softball interview. Like, I know oompaville is very smart. He's very when it comes to YouTube, he knows what lines to walk. So yeah, in that case, he was the worst one. But I'm going to save my opinion for actually watching it. I'm going to see if there's anything reasonable or not. Because are you saying that oompaville did softball him to death, or are you saying it's somewhere in between, or are you saying that it was a fair interview?
There's like a couple of bits in it where like there's almost a snap where he'll go from like asking some question that's like really light, and then he'll be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example, but I'll give like just a hyperbolic like example. It's like it'll be really soft, and then it will suddenly like, so these accusations that you like murdered 20 people, and it's like this really weird switch. And
well, that's the inexperience. If I had to guess, I'm terrible at interviewing people. It's like the worst thing I do. So I'll give him that. Where should we start? Should we go right to the beginning?
Yeah, we might as well
Let's just open it.
I mean, yeah, let's just. I think the intro is kind of interesting.
Yeah. Okay,
I think it's an interesting choice of intro.
That's interesting. Okay. Let's. Am I gonna laugh? Like,
are you gonna sue Dogpack?
Cut off. No answer. Till later.
Well, MrBeast is currently on a private jet on his way to where I live in Central Texas to have a conversation with me with the intention of addressing the controversy that he has been involved in over the last few months. And
I would say plural. It's not just one.
I think that it is
one and you got out of it already.
important for me to document my intentions before embarking on this risky and difficult task. I'm not Scott.
Guys, this is the toughest thing I ever done.
I know. He's not like, guess what? Now he is a journalist. Oh, I'm so important. Okay, God.
Can I get some 07s in the comments for my service? He's got the music behind him too, and it's like cyberpunk. It's like, whoa, we're getting inside the MrBeast system. All right, and we're taking it down.
I'm still gonna make fun of him, but maybe he's doing the showgram part of it. All right, I'll give him that, but I'm still gonna goof on him.
Yes, investigative journalist. I'm a YouTuber with a medium-sized platform.
I didn't realize how much that was going to bother me when I actually heard it. I want to rip his mustache off and shove it down his throat. Oh my God, this is not starting off.
People have pushed back on me and they're like, well, compared to MrBeast, it's a medium-sized platform.
Compared to MrBeast? Come on, fuck off. Nobody's MrBeast. Get the fuck out of here, nuts.
He has to be doing this on purpose.
I'm just a humble YouTube channel.
This whole thing is on purpose.
Who are you kidding?
He's mid. What does that make you, Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Bitch sat there on like a golden throne, being like, "I'm really just like you, man with 10 subs and like one concurrent of average."
That's why I like him. Really so humble.
Tommy's untouchable, and this guy's like Brahmin. You
want my advice as a YouTuber, be yourself, but unless you're an asshole, then be somebody else.
I am currently doing journalism, to be fair, but I am goofy, all right? Also, back in August, I platformed Dogpack, and out of fairness, I
think that's fair, by the way. I actually agree with that. They did it both ways. I think in that sense, I think MrBeast should do 1 or 2 more interviews, but he's obviously being
feel that it is important to do the same for MrBeast. MrBeast has agreed to keep an open line of communication. He'll only be here for
music is wacky in the background.
It's trying to hype you up. Like, this is it. Finally, MrBeast, is he going down? Or there's the monolith staying up?
All I hear, you're the only one to get this. All I hear is, it's Art Bell here from coast to coast. That's all I'm hearing is Art Bell.
A little bit, which is crazy.
Fucking aliens are going to be talking about Ghost. you know?
Seriously.
Flying halfway across the country. And he and his team have agreed to provide us with evidence and information to give proof to claims so we can actually be as transparent here as possible. The goal of this video is not for it to please everyone or gotcha somebody. It is for this video to be a meaningful source of information. So to future me and
I think that was see, he knows what to say. I think that's the right thing to say. I do because first of all, I don't like gotcha interviews personally. I think they're usually bad faith. I think if you do a gotcha, and you got to do it like Rogan, you don't go in there with the intention of gotcha. But if somebody slips up, you follow up. But he's basically laying it out. I'm not here to do that, right? And I like the fact that with the intention information. And I'm absolutely sure he's not going to strike my shit down because that would really fly in his face. So maybe, like, because I've done this before, I've interviewed people before, and people have used my interviews in our videos, like, and they saw stuff that I didn't even see and I was there at the time, you know. So I think that's actually fair. So I'll give him a point there.
you currently viewing, I'm sure I missed some questions, but I absolutely did my best, and I stand behind the result, maybe, and I look forward to seeing the comments and criticism. Firstly, would you...
He's good YouTuber. All right, that was pretty good. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So should I? All right, this is the first one is it's right into Delaware. Okay.
Yeah.
The Delaware's a big one. Go.
be willing to
Just
put your
open
hand
up.
on this Bible and swear?
Oh my gosh,
be
you
honest.
actually have a Bible?
I have two Bibles.
Are you being serious?
I am being
Billionaire. He walks around in fucking goddamn Adidas flip flops. Unbelievable.
serious.
You know, I walk around in Adidas flip flops. Everybody calls me a loser.
I'm swear. We're both from the South. This will be an honest video.
Oh, your laptop's blocking it.
Oh, whoops. This will be an honest video. You're a man from North Carolina. I'm
Yes.
from Virginia.
The Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt.
Yep.
Exactly.
I know what this means.
This
I
means
thought that was the Midwest.
it's legit.
Yes. Okay.
There we go.
I was not expecting that. Okay.
We're both gonna burn in hell.
This is like, it is. I can go to jail.
The first biggest question for me.
But I cured blindness. But you swore in the Bible. I'm Saint Peter, and you're fucked.
And a lot of people that I've spoken to over the last couple months is like, why were you so silent? Especially off the bat, like you did respond to the Ava Tyson stuff immediately, but like, you know, right after that.
Well, the truth is, I did a really shitty job on the David Tyson stuff. So next time something go, I get my mouth shut. That'd be a great answer.
A bunch of other stuff came out, and Dawson's video, his first video, gained a bunch of traction. What was your reasoning for being so silent immediately?
No, it's a great question to kick it off on. You actually kind of laid out the timeline there. The Ava stuff came out, and I put out that tweet. We hired the investigators to go look into it. And part of that investigation is they recommended that I not talk about drama or really do anything online because it might
Because the first thing didn't work.
influence witnesses or any people they might interview or ex-employees. So it's a little unfortunate because I told them, okay, I'll wait till the investigation is over. And I believe that was literally like a week before the dog pack video came out. And then truthfully, just in transparency, I've never done one of these like big investigations before. And in my head,
this
it was
felt
gonna
weird to me,
Why?
timeline wise,
Okay.
because I'm not sure this is wholly accurate.
Okay.
Because the Ava Chris Tyson stuff happened. So the timeline is basically this.
Okay.
Commentary had been talking about this because of Tipster. It's all part of the Tipster legacy for ages.
Sounds like a video game. Tipster legacy. Go ahead.
And then Prism came out with his video, basically making the accusation that Ava Chris Tyson groomed Lava, and they had this Discord, which they definitely had the Discord. That's true.
Yeah.
And then Lava came out and denied it. The mods, particularly somebody named Cookie, who I've spoken to multiple times, had logged Ava Chris Tyson's Discord. They released it through Drama Alerts, and then all that happened. And then Dogpack's video dropped. Now, around this time, Ava Chris Tyson, I believe, left the company after Dogpack's video. And the reason I think this is the case, timeline-wise, because I don't have it in front of me, was Dogpack said that he would release the second video if Ava Chris Tyson wasn't held to account, but then release the video anyway after Chris Tyson was removed. Yeah. So, but the investigation itself,
I remember that.
I believe, only kicked off after or around the same time Chris Tyson had left. So, wouldn't that be after Dogpack's video? I feel like Jimmy's posing it as none of this was really having a huge impact, and we were investigating, and then Dogpack gets involved. Dogpack had been involved really early on, and it's I don't know. It's
is it possible? All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate because I don't know if you're making a bad argument. I don't know if you at all. Is it possible he forgot? Because I forget shit like that all the fucking time, and that's just the way he remembers it. So he's like if you took a lie detector right now, he'd pass it, right? Rather than it actually being a chance of deception. But what you're saying is the timeline that he's talking about isn't accurate.
It feels off to me, but it might feel off to me because this whole interview, Chris Tyson gets glossed over so much. They talk about Delaware, but talking about Chris Tyson doesn't really happen much in it. It happens a couple of times, and there's lots of little bits missing. And it's this is what I feel like the interviews are softball just because of the things that are missing, not because of the things that are said.
Well, here we go.
The last 2 or 3 weeks, it ended up taking a couple months, apparently combing through all the documents and doing all the interviews.
You know what's the funny thing is, because I don't watch MrBeast, my kid does. And I was telling him, he's like, what's going on? When I was in Spain, I was like, what's going on, MrBeast? One of the guys that was on there, he's like a girl now, and he goes, Chris? She goes, Chris? And I looked at because I didn't know which one it was. Yeah, it's Chris. It was actually she goes, I knew that guy was up. No, she didn't say that. But
everything just took way longer than I thought because I've never had to bring in a top tier law firm and a former federal prosecutor and let him, do this really big thing.
This could be bullshit, but it's also nitpicking.
So that kind of concluded a couple weeks ago when I put out the tweet of the follow-up. That was the day I got the conclusion of it. And I was like, okay, in transparency, I'll throw this out. So up until that point, it was, I had told Quinn Emanuel that, to protect the integrity, I wouldn't do anything or engage in any of this drama. And then
I think it's 99.9% true. His lawyers told him to shut up. I cannot believe they wouldn't have, so I think that's probably fair.
After that, yeah, like you said, a lot of stuff had come out between when the investigation started and when it ended. And I was just kind of like, whoa, I don't really know how to hit this stuff. And
should call Tommy C.
I made a little response video, but that's just kind of not my style, where I just kind of put a lot of the information that I assume we're going to talk about here out. And it just felt weird. Truthfully, I've never been in a situation where people have thrown this much stuff at me. And I definitely could have handled it better. I probably should have, the second I could have talked,
more information of Pride, Mr. G's doc linked in the description. Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we put that report out. Probably should have done something like this right then. If I could go back in time, I would. That's kind of the brain dump. And then,
well, that makes me think he has changed his mind.
Here I am.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, you answered it towards the end, but do you regret that, obviously?
Yeah, if I could go back in time, I would do what we're doing here, because I assume this is the correct format. It's going to be a little bit more free-flowing and natural. And I wouldn't have wasted so much time trying to do a response. It's just not my thing. I like so much better, or I'm assuming, we just started, but I think I'm going to like so much better being asked the questions and answered instead of just sitting in a chair like this answering.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna being able to speak freely instead of my lawyers feeding me what to say so that I don't get in trouble. I think I would like that too, MrBeast.
Well, when he says that, I've just got an image in my head that he's looking over to the sniper that's pointed at Oompaville's head. I think I'm gonna like this better, aren't I, Oompaville?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got lawyers there. I'm absolutely sure he has lawyers in the building. So, whatever.
Or natural.
Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely, that does line up obviously with what's happened, and it makes sense. And I definitely, I feel like, before talking to you, I definitely would imagine that you would regret have not.
I forgot this. I have to go. I have to get these. I forgot about my. Hello.
About your groceries.
Yeah. Hello. Phone for my Hamburg.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, ein Moment, ich komme. Okay. All right, keep it going.
Guys, ignore that. MrBeast has a team of CIA-trained assassins outside of the room right now. They're ready to extraordinarily render Oompaville to a black site off of the coast of Cuba. And, I just want to say it was very brave of Oompaville to do this, because now I realize journalists have to sacrifice a lot
I think it's
you
even
get to
funnier
see-
that he's sort of stuttering answering the question.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's great. Yeah, no.
Like there's a paper in his hand, starts shaking violently. Did he have any regrets? Please don't kill me,
Yeah.
please.
MrBeast just sat there saying like, so you want to see your family again, right?
And Mr. Beast sits back with, and he puts it, he locks his fingers together, puts, leans back, his big smile across his face.
Have you ever seen the film
Yes.
The Stuff?
The
Like this
stuff.
old- yeah. It's
Oh
this
wait,
old
the
horror-
stuff is it like an '80s movie, and it's just like
Yeah.
this fucking yogurt type shit that
Yeah,
like
there's actually a live that's hyper
yes,
Mm.
I have
I've
seen
just
that.
got images of at the end of the interview, like Jimmy putting down like Feastables and like a lunch that he's like, eat it.
Eat it, and he pulls the gun out. And he's like, eat it. Oh, gosh.
I hate this interview.
You don't like it?
I was a lot less kind than Nick was when I watched this. It's definitely one of those where, I'm sure I'll say this when talking about like I don't dislike Oompa. I've got like no strong opinions, but like it feels like of this drama in particular has a really interesting crossover between general like commentary that's like the more acceptable form where it's really nice and no one swears and everything's sort of like advertiser friendly, and us. And it's really
when you mentioned the tipster
crossover.
when you mentioned the tipster connection, I was like, where the hell's he going with this? Because I'm totally like in the dark, and I'm like, well, that's a name I haven't heard in many years.
Well, where the fuck have you been? Like, no, but like,
I've been in real life.
Everything links back to Tipster. But like, the reason that all this came up was like, people were talking about the Chris Tyson stuff to do with Tipster, because Tipster had defended Ava Chris Tyson and the Shadman stuff.
Yeah, I remember
So,
he went really hard on that. I do actually remember
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, this is it all links back. Everything with this story links back to fucking Tipster.
It's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like Kevin Bacon's connected. 6 degrees of Tipster. This is insane. I guess he owns us. I guess.
You never believe this. It went to the wrong goddamn house.
Oh.
Fuck.
Now I'm trying to get a hold of this guy.
Don't worry, we're holding it down, Tommy.
Super.
Talking about Tipster, I guess. It's just totally going off track.
Super.
No, yeah. You don't like this oompaville guy's videos though?
I mean, I don't really watch sort of like.
You're not into
in fact, I think this whole drama has been the most general commentary I've ever kind of like indulged in. It's really interesting seeing other people's content. There's one particular person who did a video on the Dogpack stuff called Coffee and Cults, who was really interesting, just because they painted this picture of Dogpack. They were like, I found it really interesting that Dogpack, somebody who loved MrBeast, he was a massive fan, and he worked there for months. And then he's come out and he hates it. He's become a detractor. What does it take for somebody to get there? And what was interesting about their video was they'd found the same subreddit stuff we had. So they had at their disposal all of Dogpack's old posts, and they hadn't read them. They clearly hadn't read them, because if they'd actually done the research, they would have seen that Dogpack only worked there for like 3 weeks. They would have seen Dogpack criticizing the Beast Company before and after working there, even during it.
Mm-hmm.
But also they sort of just went with Dogpack's narrative, because Dogpack sort of presents this narrative that he worked for MrBeast for months and months and months, which isn't true. He worked there for 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
So, it's really interesting, like how many people, even who have millions of subs or stuff, seem to be just going along the general consensus.
They don't put the fucking work in, because they get lazy and they start thinking, oh well, I can't possibly make a mistake, and even if I do make a mistake, everybody else is making the same mistake, so it's okay if I do it. I feel like that's the attitude that gets you in that situation. It's like, oh well, I had a defense. It was a rumor that was being spread around, and it was believable enough. But yeah, Dogpack does seem like the kind of guy that's a fair weather
I wonder
friend.
if people are gonna. I wonder if people are gonna add corrections or like follow-up videos, because this story isn't like a normal YouTube drama story. We're talking about like the largest YouTuber on the planet. It's like I can't believe people will just be like, yeah, that video can stay there. It's like Rosanna still has the fucking insane CP allegation video up.
Yeah.
That's still up and she's still talking. Shit.
Smoking up some more of her dead dad.
I mean, her podcast doesn't seem to be doing particularly well, and she released a video yesterday.
That's the same chick though, right? The chick that's like
Yes.
got the feet shit going on. She smoked her dead dad and
yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure because that really does like paint such a great picture of just how insane she is. And how insane you have to be to come out with those allegations, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's like,
she's only 4'8".
Is she really?
Yeah.
Imagine getting your career and like business, having like at least losing like significant amounts of money. You know, we're talking in the millions, by a 4'8" YouTube chef woman. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. She has to fucking sit on somebody else's shoulders like Master Blaster. It's crazy.
I'm gonna have to wait till they call me back because there's no way to contact them and say they're at the wrong fucking house. I didn't realize it because it was set to my new house, which I don't live at yet. So I'm gonna lose the whole. How much was this? Oh, it was only $40. I thought it was more than that. Oh, this sucks. All right, where were we?
I'm sorry, Tommy.
No, it's 50 Hannah. It says preparing, or there's no way to call that guy back. Did he call my regular phone? Because that didn't sound like my phone. What time did that happen? 1:45? No, it's 1:45 now.
Yeah, no, it would have been about, I'd say 10 minutes ago, I guess. So probably 38.
Let's get a busy signal on the last fucking call today. Outgoing. What about incoming? Oh, fuck. This sucks. I'm going to lose my order.
Mr. Caleb Oompaville, you've escaped criticism because of some grocery mishaps.
Yeah.
You win this round, but we'll be back.
All right, let's do it.
No, if I was somebody who was interested in conspiracy theories, I might say that MrBeast is the sort of person with the amount of money to persuade a delivery driver to fuck up.
Yeah, Mr. Beast, you bastard.
Yeah,
all right,
let's
go on with
Tommy?
it. I'll keep my eyes on it, and if he calls back, then I'll see if I can get.
How many Feastables did you order?
It was all Feastables and lunch lead.
Lunch lead, yeah. Feastables. I mean, I don't. For all I know, she ordered them. Oh wait, can I switch that? No. No, I can't even switch anything. It sucks. All right, let's fucking roll.
Duty
let's
calls.
Go. Let's go.
Not making a response early.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Like that, because that could have, you could have just immediately, if there is information to debunk Dogpack's his first video off the bat.
Yeah, which obviously had so much disinformation in it. If anyone saw Soggy's video or any of the newer videos now coming out, like you would
we'll
see
get to
so
that
much.
too,
yeah, so much of it. So it's
plug.
it's unfortunate that it happened on the back end of when I was said I would not talk about or address drama and things. And I mean, there's obviously should have done this sooner. Whoops, but hey, better late than never.
Yeah. Did you think it would get this big?
No, I mean, truthfully, I thought, if you watch Soggy's video or any of these other videos that are coming out now showing all the discrepancies,
I want to get right
I
to
honestly
Delaware.
thought a lot of
Hang
people
on.
videos with tens of millions of views collectively, claiming I called a guy Delaware because he committed a crime in Delaware. That is not true. His name was just Delaware. I didn't, call him Delaware to make fun of him or anything. And, I'm sure you're going to ask about it later, but there's literally he was in a video before I hired him working at Best Buy wearing a name tag that said Delaware. And like, that was public information. And like, you know, anyone could have saw that. And like, even during when that was like getting shared a lot a couple months ago, I even sent that to a couple of YouTubers. I was like, hey, just so you know, like, I didn't call him Delaware because of this messed up thing. Like, that was just his name, and here's proof. And I guess I probably shouldn't say the name of the creators, but like, one of them literally just said to me, like, well, it's not really cool to like you or defend you right now, so I don't really care whether or not it's true, or I don't want to take the video down.
I don't believe that.
I would love to know who the fuck
I don't
that was.
believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute.
But he swore on the Bible, Tommy.
No, yeah, sure. I'll tell you why. I don't buy that at all. Because look why he's going on football. It was a softball interview, so he wouldn't go to a guy that was sympathetic to his cause just that time. He went to a hardcore guy that time. That sounds like bullshit.
Because then people are going to think
I got to be honest. I got no problem with oompaville right now. I got more problem with Jimmy at this point. You know,
there's actually a Book of Mormon.
Yeah, right. Well, it doesn't count. That means everybody's going to hell.
Told opposition. I was like, whoa. And then also like that same photo. Are you gonna like throw some things on the screen for them?
Definitely.
Yeah. So throw it on the screen. That same photo.
How he's directing the video.
Right after
throw it on the screen.
Dogpack video.
Yeah, I would have cut that. I would have cut that if I. That's a legitimate cut too. Like I wouldn't have left that in.
There's a point later. There's a point later when oompaville asks a question, and he says Soggy instead of Dogpack, and MrBeast goes, "You mean Dogpack?" And it's really.
Yeah,
he doesn't even let him finish the question. He's like, "Well, you mean Dogpack, right?" Yeah. And it's really like
on Reddit and saying like, "Hey, this is a lie.
Sorry,
Jimmy
sir.
didn't call him Delaware to make fun of him, you know, committing a crime in Delaware. That's just his name." And it got taken down by the mods on r/YouTube drama, and that's when I realized.
I believe that those guys are biased as fuck. You know?
Yeah, it's Reddit.
Anytime there's a post proving like that I'm not evil, they were taking it down.
I believe that totally.
It was a little unfortunate too because I wasn't saying anything, and then on Reddit, anytime something was proving that I wasn't evil or you know contrarian to what everyone was saying, they were suppressing it or censoring it, not trying to sound extreme.
So you're saying it's like a echo chamber, which I mean, Reddit r/YouTube drama is.
Yeah, I know, but it's unfortunate when there's a post with 10,000 upvotes claiming something false about you, and then everyone, then a couple people are like, wait, that's not true. Here's proof. And then they delete it every time. So then everyone's like, okay, well then that must be true. Because
didn't you send me something like this over the weekend, Jeannie? Like somebody at r/, the mods have to explain themselves if that's true.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, here's the thing about that. That's a weird response. Well, because he'd be able, the head mod would be able to see who deleted what, when, and when. Wouldn't they? I would think.
They're also deleting the comments on
that
post that prove it's not. So then then it's just like, now
this is what a wonderful like afterthought in this like r/ like now that's a corrupted fucking thing. Oh God, that's wonderful. With all those lefty losers over there, this is fantastic news. You know, oh boy, love it.
Yeah, they have been coping pretty fucking hard since this interview came out.
That is fantastic news.
You know, again, I'm not trying to sound extreme, but it's just like, well, you're censoring information. And then that paired with other YouTubers, when I would call them and share it with them, they'd just be like, well, I don't want to be a MrBeast Glazer, so I don't really... They wouldn't say it this direct, but they would just essentially say, like, I don't really care if it's true or not. I'm just going to say what other people say, like, sorry.
I do believe he could call a YouTuber and them, like, not say it outright. I'm glad he fucking corrected himself. But YouTubers are is rotten to say, like, to not put it out there because they just don't want to get in the way of Dogpack. I 100% believe is true. But if anybody balls out, said to him, like, look, I'm not taking your side. I know you're right. Sorry, buddy. Don't buy that.
Do you have evidence of like people there being posts that existed and then didn't exist on Reddit that got?
Of course. Yeah, okay, I can send you.
Yeah, if you send me anything,
you can throw it up on screen. I mean, that's not like a conspiracy theory. That's
of course. Yeah.
Just, we can find quite a few.
I'm not that good at using Google. So
yeah.
I'll need you to help me with that. Yeah,
I believe
to circle back to the Quinn Emanuel investigation, the big thing on the internet, on Twitter specifically, was that you found yourself to be innocent. Of course, you paid a law firm to find yourself innocent.
In fairness, too, I always thought that was stupid because weren't they asking this fucking law firm? Weren't they demanding this be done? and then he did it and it wasn't good enough, and then he paid for it.
Well, this is part of the point. There's no response Jimmy could give ever that would be good enough for any of these people. And like he'll talk about it in a bit in this section, but it's like they're a law firm. They're a massive law firm. Like people are like, well, you paid them. It's like, well, who else is going to pay them?
Pay them, yeah.
You think
me?
You think the police are going to come in? Like you guys going to like crowdfund it?
Well, if it's something criminal, contact the police, and obviously, like they're not interested. You know,
I saw those memes. Yeah,
there's the big meme. How would you respond to the allegation that the investigation was biased from the start?
Yeah. So, first off, to just set the foundation, I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, of course, Jimmy did an internal investigation, found himself, they didn't find any wrongdoing," which is also not true. Which I assume we'll go into that more later. They did find some wrongdoing, just not in regards to like the serious Ava allegation. So that's a false truth. And then on top of that, it wasn't an internal investigation. It was an external investigation, which was clearly laid out in the things we showed.
Yeah, a third-party investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm on Jimmy's side 100% on this one.
I mean, it is a little bit of a like, a lot of people I saw were saying like, well, you paid them. And it's like, well, yeah, top tier lawyers and federal prosecutors don't work for free. So I have to pay them.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to debunk that one. I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, we hired Quinn Emanuel, which is one of the top law firms in the world. Like, I mean, it was very expensive, but I intentionally
Wouldn't it be funny if they had sued Dog Pack? You don't want to fuck with lawyers.
Them because they have a reputation and they're not just going to destroy their entire business to be biased towards me, you know what I mean? And then it was led by a former federal prosecutor who did the whole thing. I mean, it was pretty intense. I mean, they did tons of interviews. I mean, transparent. They even like scanned my phone, dug through. Like they have messages I sent to my girlfriend, and I'm like, "Why is this even relevant?" They're like,
"They even
if
put
you
a
want
chip
to throw
under my
one and
skin.
you want us to like be confident what we're saying, we need to see everything." Like they went pretty hardcore on it, which is why I ended up taking a couple of months. Because truthfully, when I started this process, I didn't realize like how intense it was. But
they
I
did
gave
a physical. They gave me a high colonic.
Yeah, like it was so good. I mean, I can't believe it. They don't talk to me.
I mean, honestly, I'd recommend it to anybody. If you guys, if you can, get an internal investigation done on yourself. It's the best feeling in the world.
Solve the dick pics. Yeah, it's too funny. And I'm fine. Is there anything more interesting? Now we got.
So just like in this section. Okay. So if you jump to like just 1303 and let it play from there, just for this.
1303. Yes, sir.
Does MrBeast keep his foot on the table this entire interview?
It's obnoxious. It's totally obnoxious.
There's like a...
This is oompaville's house. Have some respect.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Maybe they're from Texas, so I mean, or Virginia, so maybe.
We didn't like that down in
He's
Texas.
North Carolina.
He's
North Carolina. Oh, okay.
Reality that is required legally.
Exactly.
But like, is there anything?
Well, that's the thing. Like, what we put out as much as we could, but I mean, obviously they did dozens of interviews, including alleged people who were victims, and
Okay.
Like I said, my message with my girlfriend, like they gathered a lot. So
what's that?
This is really interesting as a point because obviously they've come out with a statement and said we found no wrongdoing. Now, from my understanding, the legal team did look at the Discord logs that were leaked because Lava stated on Twitter that he handed them over.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's a couple of things about those Discord logs. Firstly, those Discord logs are already cleaned. They have already removed, like, it doesn't have the not safe for work channel. There's no image files in them. So, like, the idea that there's nothing criminal in that Discord may be the case if they only are working off what was there. Like,
so you're telling them they rinsed them before they turned them over?
Well, they'd already been pre-rinsed because the pull of those Discord logs Cookie did was months into the server being public. And the other thing is, while they interviewed Lava, which Lava talks about, Lava spoke to them, they went through the messages. I don't think that they ever interviewed Nathan. And from what I've heard, they didn't interview anyone else involved in the Ava Chris Tyson Discord. So, this is presented as the victims were interviewed, but as far as I'm aware, and from everything I've heard, the only victim of Ava Chris Tyson that was interviewed was Lava, quote unquote victim, because they don't consider themselves.
So,
victim.
but I don't know every detail of the MrBeast case. I'm kind of like,
sure.
Yeah, I said, what are you saying? So they're saying there's no way they can clear the Ava to Chris Tyson. You tell me if I'm wrong. The Ava to Chris Tyson discourse because they had been deleting stuff prior to that. So anything an investigator would have seen wouldn't have been the entire.
The question is, do you
thing.
have anything here that's criminal? That's the statement that's come out, and it's like that doesn't mean that, there's this weird thing about this that I've been thinking about ever since I saw this interview, which is like, okay, well, the lawyers have said that there's nothing criminal here, but that's only off the information that they have.
Yeah. And you're saying that particular evidence that requested had been tampered with. Long clean. Like long clean. Well, he's not going to admit that he fucking has. Well, yeah. We had like 6 fucking terabytes of CP.
You've got to remember as well, like the Ava Chris Tyson stuff's really interesting because Ava Chris Tyson's wife came out and said Chris never knew the ages of these moderators. Chris never knew the age of Lava. They never knew the age of Nathan. That's a lie. That's a provable lie.
Oh, really?
We can see. Yeah. Firstly, because Chris Tyson met Lava in person when they were a minor. Like they met them. And secondly, because all the way through the Discord, there is conversations involving Ava Chris Tyson going with the minors, basically saying, "Hey, we're minors, but you're having us run a not safe for work channel with a load of porn in it." Like, this is provably a lie. So
really,
it's bizarre. It's
I wouldn't. In fairness to oompaville, I wouldn't know how to follow up on this either.
No. I don't think many people would. You'd really have had to follow Chris Tyson very carefully.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's do
it. I don't really think I can. I mean, there's a lot of sensitive data and information in there.
What about like a just to back?
So
up
I think that's it for this bit, though.
Okay.
How much do you care about responses to criticism of diversity on his company?
Don't give a rat's monkey's ass. Honestly, that's the government's job anyway.
Well, what if MrBeast just says we don't hire black people? Yeah,
I'd never even really heard this criticism. Apparently, there's a load of stuff on Reddit from like Roseanne last year. Like the stuff is like, well, Roseanne was like moved down because she's like Mexican or something. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, I don't even remember this fucking narrative. I think there's a load. Okay, so the next section's like talking about like his mum being part of HR at 2535, but then the no means no policy, which was their sales thing. CGI in videos, Tommy. Do you care about CGI in videos?
No. Oh, the CGI one.
What about the clock?
That was the worst part of the fucking the video. He's like, you sent me the proof and you owned yourself. And then actually Soggy owned himself. Yeah, that one. No, it's like, God, what a dipshit.
Probably 44.
You know what I want to see? I want to see. It says Soggy cereal here at 52:18. Did you? Was there a section where you thought Jimmy got mad? You said to me offline.
Yeah. So Jimmy gets mad. We'll definitely get to it because it's after the dog pack stuff. I
definitely want to watch the dog pack stuff. I definitely want the dog pack stuff for shiz.
Okay. Well, before that, I'd say Soggy cereal probably is another good place to go.
It's a good one. All right, we'll go to Soggy cereal. Guy who made a really bad video.
It's around 52 minutes.
52 Soggy cereal.
Yeah, he has criticized you today and last night, I think.
Yeah. Oh, the ultimate backpedal when fucking Harmful pointed out that he fucking did disclose. Yeah, that sincere fucking thing that could have been done in the video. Yeah. Oh, that.
To sort of timestamp when this video is being recorded so people know. He said, Soggy has criticized you sharing his video with other YouTubers as a way to shield yourself from criticism, like deeming the video to...
What the fuck? Here's the thing. Let's say Soggy did a good job on the video. What's wrong with that? I have a video vindicating me. You can't use it because it vindicates you?
I mean,
what the fuck's that about? Motherfucker, he paid for it. He should be able to share it.
I mean, to my understanding, Duncan paid for it. This is like I want to.
Oh, did he? What is Duncan's job, Beckett?
Well, okay, yeah, but
come on, man. Like, that's like, did they really think? That sounds like something they told Soggy Cereal. Don't worry, MrBeast isn't paying for it. I am. Oh, that's good. I'll go with it.
Okay.
I'll get out of trouble there.
And you're gonna get a T-shirt signed by Duncan that says "MrBeast." Throw that in.
Oh, fuck.
All right, let's go.
Two people. He also expressed feeling used by you, given that you used his video as a strategy to gather favor from the public. Which, that's pretty wordy. It's like it just happened today. It's got to be something like, how do you feel about him feeling that way? Because he's not really.
I love it.
MrBeast
is like,
he's more so.
Shit, I should have thought of that. Oh, that's a really good idea. Fuck. Why did I do that?
Hold light to truth, which I appreciate that massively.
Yeah.
And I do, talking to him, I do believe that he is an honest guy. Yeah, how do you interpret his responses on Twitter if you've seen them? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen them. I mean, I interpret as him just trying to be honest with his audience and just expressing how he feels. And I think, obviously he probably, in his head, if he was...
a better answer is, I thought he made a video vindicating me, so I shared it with the people vindicating me on the stuff that he covered. I'm not allowed to share that? And then, you'll have to throw Soggy under the bus, though.
Well, I mean, it's
more
Harmful was. I watched some of Harmful's stream the other day.
Yeah,
he talked a little bit about this, and he's been talking to Soggy apparently.
Okay.
And Soggy is going back to ask further questions, like from Harmful. The way Harmful's described it, yeah. Soggy's been pretty. I mean, I've had a couple of DMs to Soggy. He does seem very chilled out. So. He
just did a terrible job in a video and got rewarded for it. I'd be real fucking chill. In fact, I'd be smoking weed and banging fucking hookers. I mean, Jesus Christ. He did a video that would discredit anybody, including real journalists, and he's being rewarded for it. So yeah, I bet he's chill as fuck, yo. Go ahead.
I mean, he does seem willing to correct stuff. Like I from all the YouTubers we've seen who are like.
That's good. No, I can't blame him for that. I'm still going to goof on him. But I mean, sure. I mean, he should come out and say, yeah, that whole thing when I thought I was showing proof. Yeah, I'm an idiot. That if he does that, I'm okay with it. And the fact that he isn't swung at Harmful because Harmful made good points that have yet to been refuted. I think that's good. I think it's a good sign from Soggy, for sure.
Honest, he'd probably be like, Jimmy, why don't you just say these things? Why am I saying it? And I think obviously now that I'm here and doing this, that will alleviate it. But I'm
trying to be honest with his audience. He's just trying to maintain the fact that the people see him as his audience sees him as honest. That's what he's doing.
I can see how it feels like. Obviously, I saw that video and it, disproved. I mean, there are some things in there I don't agree with, and he does go pretty hard on me. So, which people seem to forget. But there are a lot of things in there that he disproved.
Does he?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, he killed him.
That laugh was so like.
I can't think of anything in Soggy's video that really goes that hard on MrBeast.
Really?
Honestly, I mean, I don't know whether I'm just
if you
blind
flew me
to
to England, I'd probably be pretty friendly to you too. What am I gonna do? Fucking spend $500.
I mean, it wasn't the point of the video, but like the hardest thing in there seems to be, look at the crypto stuff.
Yeah, Arnett, he's trying to give Soggy credibility, but Soggy loses credibility. I gotta be honest, the fakest fucking thing he did was distance himself from MrBeast. Because it seemed too little too late. And then just over the weekend, Chud tweeted out that, it's a little late, but good thing that he got around with it. Like, how much pressure did he have before he did that? I'm sorry. You don't get the pat on the back. Had he come out of the video and said, guys, I should have done this right away. I didn't do it in the video. Then I dismissed it completely. It was an oversight, but it wasn't an oversight. It wasn't an oversight until there was pressure applied. That's a fact. So I don't buy the backpedal for MrBeast. This is even his explanation, like, what scummy behavior are you talking about? And you're sitting there telling me that he didn't really go all that hard on him. It seems like he's trying to save his own credibility, and he's the one that fucking took it away from himself to begin with. by not being upfront. You know, Jesus Louises.
And I got excited and shot it over to a bunch of creators who covered the false information and was just like, look, you know, I could see how, you know, that looks like I'm hiding behind it. Luckily, I'm here talking to you. So I don't think that will be a problem anymore. But obviously, you know, he's not, when he tweeted that, he, you know, doesn't know we were doing this, doesn't know this is coming out. I mean, he might now, I don't, you know, you talk to him, but yeah, so like, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? It's a reasonable thing. Like, I think.
Why? Why is it reasonable? I mean, this is where Oompa probably should have hit him. Like, why is that reasonable? That seems like a really bizarre thing to do, MrBeast, to go from basically vindicating you, then shaming you for sharing the video that's in. It seems kind of bizarre. Actually, I'll go one step further, MrBeast. It seems kind of phony. And then and he would just.
It's wrestling shit.
And he's stuttering all over this. Imagine if I got all of them, you know.
If I were to read a little between lines, he's just saying, like, I don't want to be a shield.
MrBeast is stuttering right off camera. You can't see. There are about 3 laser sights pointed at Caleb from his armed guards that are ready to abort the interview entirely.
Jimmy, say something. You know what I mean? Like, actually go address things. And, like,
yeah, because he's really not defending you. He's just disproving Dogpack. Like, that.
Exactly.
That's the prime.
I mean, that does.
He did such a poor job. If he didn't deliberately go in to defend him, he did such a poor job that he did inadvertently. Like, give me a fucking monkey break. Like I don't know if. Here's the best part. I don't know if MrBeast isn't worth defending, at least on some issues, a lot of issues on the Dogpack videos. So to sit there and say he wasn't defending you is just flat out dishonest. You know, like, maybe people need defending where they need defending. And if Dogpack made up stuff, that's fine. You know, it's okay to defend. You know, everybody's got such a bug up their ass, and I'll tell you exactly why. Hang on a second. Is this the fucking same guy?
It's the grocery time.
Yeah, I think I lost my fucking thing. My order. It says delivered. They probably left it there. Son of a bitch. No after show. I'm going to pick up my groceries later by my front door. It sucks. I fucked it.
It's all right. Caleb has those days sometimes too.
It's a safe neighborhood. So I don't give a fuck.
No, he's just like you though. You know, he's a mid-sized platform.
So, oh my God, no DoorDash. Now I'm gonna have to Uber over there to pick up my shit.
We were talking about like the defending, the stigma against defending another person.
Yeah. Fuck. Where did I leave off? No, yeah, if he's worth defending, yeah, he's worth defending. But the idea that he wasn't, or like, it almost like seems like both of them are trying to give a Soggy credibility that he really didn't earn. In fact, he made a shit ton of mistakes. You know, and now, I mean, in fairness to fucking oompaville, that's not his job to go in about the mistakes. Maybe that was kind of new information. It might not have even been out by the time this interview was recorded. In fairness to him, but no, no, he didn't. I'm sorry. The walk back from Jimmy was fraudulent, and the reason Jimmy's approving with it because he needs Soggy to have the credibility in order for the video to work. And there's problems with that video. So he's not going to sit there and throw him under the bus for throwing him under the bus if it fucking benefits MrBeast.
You know, when Soggy's video came out, I still saw a lot of people going, well, there's loads of problems at MrBeast, and there's lots of criticisms to give. I'd still have loads of problems, and I'm like, look, I have issues with some of the stuff that's been brought up, but I've been in the sort of like outside touching grass world, having a job for a while, and everything I've seen from like detractors and things, like I always point to Trey Yates. And it's like, look, the MrBeast company sounds like a company. It doesn't sound like the worst place to work in the world. No. It sounds pretty good overall.
Yeah, it sounds to me.
No. But like, I get that gut feeling of like, oh, I know that if you say shit like that, you'll get called a defender. So I understand where people's perspectives coming from.
Well, I think a lot of
this drama would be so much easier.
Yeah, if it was binary and there was clear-cut good guys and bad guys. You know, I think what happened, what I took from our conversation on Friday was, and I experienced this too, and I mentioned to you, that a lot of people found problems with Dogpack's video, and they just get this all this rash of irrational hate, based on like pointing out the problems with it. Oh, you're a MrBeast dick writer. You're a MrBeast dick writer. The solution to that is not to be actually become a MrBeast dick writer. And I think that's what's giving a lot of people their sort of confirmation bias in television. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm better than any of those people, because it happened to me too, and I apologize for it in my last video. I think because those people are real assholes. You're pointing out stuff that's legitimate slander, objectionably true, the stuff like the Delaware tag and stuff like that, and they're calling you a MrBeast dick writer and not saying a whole lot. It's really frustrating when you put yourself out there on Twitter and then you get it all out. But that's not an excuse to defend something that has problems. And to dismiss everything and be ultra generous. I have an issue with that as well. I mean, you can say that Dogpack's videos are trash, and I can objectively say they're worse than fucking Soggy's, and still Soggy did a terrible job. Both things can be true. It's not unreasonable. And you can also say, I was getting a lot of shit from these Dogpack jerk-offs, and it made me kind of lose my way. But yeah, there's problems in Soggy's video. I did it. It's not that hard, and you can maintain your credibility. It's okay.
Primary kind of driver, or that's how I interpreted his video. I was like, oh, this is pretty balanced. I like him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, so. That makes a good video. A cool dude. Yeah, sure. Well, fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. He didn't go.
I love what you said.
With the grain and disproved a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But yeah, also went kind of hard on me.
No, Tommy, nuance isn't allowed online. I know.
So,
I'm an idiot. I'm a moron.
He's not a big fan.
I got all these hot takes, and I'm completely unhinged. And I've heard it all before.
Lunchley.
He's not. That's one thing for sure. He does not like Lunchley.
By commenting on his video, you left a comment on Soggy's video after it was posted. You said, "This is finally a video that doesn't spread baseless slander about me."
I really don't have a problem with that. I could care less about that fucking comment.
Lol.
Obviously, that was a stupid comment. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, how do you think that looks? I mean.
Yeah. Dumb. Agreed.
Okay.
Especially the LOL. That just. Yeah. Next question. Dumb.
Yeah.
The answer. Dumb. Yes.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I guess so. So yeah, it's like it kind of gives weight to you sort of taking the situation lightly. Like if anybody should be taking the situation lightly, it should be like me or Soggy or people who aren't actively involved in the situation.
Soggy is actively involved in the situation.
Yeah,
and now you are too.
You're all actively involved in it. Shut the fuck up.
Come on, Jesus Christ! They're really trying to play with words here.
Now you know about this thing of ours.
How would you put that worry, that concern at ease for someone who's like, willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, which I think is super important. And you say something like that, and then it seems like you are taking the situation in general lightly.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, there's just a lot of disinformation that was correct in that video. And I just wrote that.
And that's true. I'll give Soggy, there was disinformation that was correct in that video. The problem is Soggy put his own credibility at stake with selective editing, which was objectively true, showing proof that wasn't actually proof of anything. That's objectively true. And the fact that he didn't disclose, which is objectively true, which if he was a journalist, that's the end of it. You're done. If you work for it, if it was like the old days, and the only thing that would not get you fired nowadays is if you were on the right side. That's it, because that's you're fired. There's a problem with the video. The journalistic integrity on Soggy's video is corrupt. Does that mean everything in there is inaccurate? No. No, it isn't. Some of it's deadly accurate. Some of it's legitimate defense. That's why all his behavior afterwards with the backup tweets is just so transparently trying to do damage control rather than correcting the errors.
Comment, and then right afterwards sent it to a couple of YouTubers, which because just like finally this this thing is here. But I agree. Like
I agree. It was a good video.
Legal and ethical issues. I feel like this is probably going to be a little bit more
dry,
sort of we're gonna need some facts on screen to back up like whatever's being said.
Enslaving Africans, good or bad, Mr. Beast?
Yeah.
So, and Soggy did a good job of sort of disproving a lot of these claims just in general, or giving weight to ones that deserve to have weight given to them.
Does he ask about paying for the trip?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think
Is that out? In fairness to him, was all that information out by the time he did this interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch his video.
Yeah, but I guess you could go back to the excuse that you didn't have enough time, but it's definitely, you'd have to follow up if you had the knowledge.
Well, could you imagine oompaville like just being like, so Mr. Beast, how do you respond to criticisms that you basically paid somebody else for your defense, released it, and now it's out, you've basically used that as your response? Because that's and
then you could loop back and say, is that the reason why you've been so forgiving of Soggy being so ridiculous on Twitter? Mm-hmm. You said you don't really have a problem with Soggy said. Is that because you actually paid for it? That's a tough question.
Obviously, he did a lot of work on this stuff. So Dawson claimed that you ran multiple illegal lotteries.
I don't care about that.
Okay. Probably then go to. I mean, there's some stuff about.
Where's the anger? I want to see the anger. Where does he get pissed off?
He gets pissed off after the dog pack stuff. Like it's right feeds into it. So go to 101.30.
101.30. There it is.
He axe kicks the table. He's so mad, breaks it in half.
Listen, motherfucker, you know who I am.
And this is the dog pack stuff, and then we'll get to
the bit where he gets angry appropriately, and just like trying to learn it.
It's 101, right?
Yeah, 101.30.
Sorry, I had 101.30. I fucked it. There you go.
That's what I was looking for.
I'm a problem solver. When there's problems, like my default reaction, like instinct is how do we solve it? And that's what we've been obsessing over. And I feel like
when someone's a problem, I ask how do we solve them?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Are you
going to sue Dog Pack?
Ooh,
I love the song segue.
Oh,
well, there's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things.
Show he lost money. I'm sure he can show he lost money.
To not be true and posting online. Tons and tons and tons.
I can't wait till he raises money for that dog. I cannot wait.
Tons of that. Soggy has basically an hour and 27-minute video, and an hour of it is just flat out proving manipulation and lies and caused a lot of harm to my businesses. I mean, I've literally had people pull out millions of dollars and then tell me it was directly because of his video. And don't worry, I instantly was like, can you send that in writing? So, if I win a case or anything, I can directly point damages. No reason why. And so, I mean,
Your Honor, he said allegedly. Good luck, motherfucker!
It's just unfortunate.
Your Honor, he wore a cop uniform while he explained it. So clearly, it's entertainment. We all know he's not a cop.
So do you know how the Sun won its defamation case in the UK against Johnny Depp?
The English laws are absolutely backwards.
Okay, you're living in Germany. Don't give me any fucking shit.
I'm not German.
Okay. The way that they won is the Sun argued that when they made claims about Johnny Depp, they weren't defamation and they weren't damaging because nobody would believe the Sun. It's so discredited that they were just like, yeah, why would anyone believe us?
Yeah.
And they won on the basis of that, and that
really
interesting.
In the States. That wouldn't have worked in the States. That is
yeah. But could you imagine if Dog Pack turned up and went, Your Honor, I said I wasn't a journalist, and I'm clearly retarded.
Your Honor, did you watch the same YouTube video that I did?
Actually, I don't think it was
terrible.
I think if he gets sued, his drug problem comes up, everything, and then he plays victim because he's got nowhere to go. I think you'll see. I got a this problem. My dick itches. You name it. He's gonna do that.
Work no more, man.
You ever see a mob boss when he gets elected? All of a sudden, he's got diabetes. He's getting rolled in with a wheelchair. Yeah. That's what dog.
Right. He's got the neck brace.
I hope Mr. B says, you made claims that we use slave labor for like chocolate production.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you what slave labor looks like. You're gonna come and work for me for free, like make Dogpack live in a little hut, and like make content for me.
Well, the one thing about Mr. Beast that I will always defend is there is a different standard held to him. And this might go into your is it the company? Is it him himself? I don't know how that matters. That's something we talked about offline. I don't know that he's not doing anything that every other American corporation. It's just because he's the face of the company, and his face is essentially the internet. It's television. It's all there. So it looks like, and the company's called Mr. Beast. He's Mr. Beast. If we're not I think it was definitely done in Dogpack's videos that were making something that nobody's getting charged with, nobody's getting and he's only getting it because he's a YouTube, and there's a bunch of woke jackasses on YouTube that hate capitalism. I do get that feeling sometimes.
Be put in this situation,
but I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I think it's a problem of Jimmy wants that clean cut image that he's just a normal guy.
Motherfucking gone.
Well, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah,
I mean, then again, he is talking to a mid-sized YouTuber.
That is true.
He's coming.
I mean, this guy, he makes ends meet, but he doesn't. It's not nothing too extravagant.
He would be better off never doing something like this again if he can somehow get around it. Okay, and then just be Mr. Beast on TV, and then do not talk about your corporate life. Do not talk about anything money related. Do not do anything. Just be that guy, and then just be off the internet. Otherwise, everything you do on the internet is just for content. I mean, and walk away. But if I had to bet, the reason he wants to hold on to the clean guy image, because if the audience feels they have a special connection with you, they're more likely to give you more. Whereas if he does it the way I think he's going to eventually have to do it, he's more like a game show host. And there's nothing more impersonal than a game show host. If you have that personal connection with your audience, it's a lot easier to make money. He knows that better than anybody. But I got to be honest with you, there are legitimate things in Dogpack's videos, thin as they might be. And the Chris Tyson thing was a legitimate thing as well as the Shadman poster and stuff like that. So once the Shadman poster comes in, you're fucked as far as a clean-cut image. All you can do is apologize and move on. You're not going to fix it. If he thinks he's going to fix it, he's probably going to fuck himself worth trying to do it, and probably going to take a few people with him.
Well, I mean, the person Jimmy most reminds me of is Ryan Gosling. And hear me out here.
Oh, gosh.
Ryan Gosling is somebody who has turned himself into a brand. Like, if you actually look into his financials, it's really interesting. He's basically, I think it's a marketing or advertising company.
Yeah.
But he runs all his own promotion stuff through. And that's why there's any product he's involved in feels like a Ryan Gosling. Sorry, not Gosling, Reynolds. What the fuck am I talking about?
Ryan Reynolds. Oh, yeah, Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, the guy who owns Wrexham. Yeah.
You got lost in Drive. You were thinking, I drive.
Yeah, it's a...
Yeah.
But like, he's very tied into everything. He's got a very strong brand.
Well, are you just judging that from Welcome to Wrexham? Because I don't know. I know the others. He's made billions on apps. I don't know that he's the... when I think of his app company, I don't think of Ryan Reynolds. I think of Ryan Reynolds when I think of FC Wrexham, right? But I don't think of him with the other stuff. I didn't even know he was a billionaire until he bought Wrexham. That's only because
this is the thing. Fan. He's managed to maintain this very normal image, while being massively successful. Yeah, and I don't think people realize, because people think,
I don't think you could do that on YouTube, because you can't do that on YouTube, because in order to make it on YouTube, you have to have that personal connection, and he's really good at that. And you can't have that personal connection. There's a time when you're not going to be the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, right, Boogie? You can't have that. People are gonna. There's always the more popular you get, the more people are gonna hate you irrationally. Even if you are 150% fucking clean, they're look what happened to him. When he was helping people get their eyesight right. All the far left found a problem with it. So you could find a problem with anybody. So
do you think Mr. Beast could survive faking cancer?
What? No.
Do you think Mr.
But
Beast
I tell you what would end him quicker, if he keeps chasing this fucking dragon, of trying to be the good guy again. He's out of his mind. He's got to let this pass and rebuild. Like everybody else that's had a drama.
See, I thought you were implying he has a heroin addiction with chasing the dragon.
Yeah, well,
world's most successful heroin addict.
No, I think he's just chasing. Yeah, because there's no such thing as a dragon, and he's running around trying to catch it.
Yeah,
you can't get something. That's why I'm saying that. But I guess
right.
I probably got that from my drug using friends. To be honest with you, all my heroes at the methadone clinic.
Well, see, there's a lot of stigma, but functional heroin users, they contribute a lot to society.
Listen, I don't think dog packs contributed anything to society.
No, he's beyond clear that guy's no good.
I have to. I mean, it's just...
and anything I've said about Soggy, yes, that guy's worse, but it doesn't make his video any better.
It's just, I mean, what do you do if someone's just spreading misinformation about you, and
you fight?
Yeah, like fight, physically.
Yeah,
fist fight them.
Yeah,
like Uwe Boll. Yeah, do a boxing match with the guy in front in charge of something awful.
Yeah, I've never boxed in my life. He comes in, bang, bang, bang. Clearly, that Bavarian.
Wasn't it one of the people he knocked out, like a 4chan mod?
No. It was Low-Tax. It wasn't it. It was Low-Tax, the guy who.
You know what else I found out about that? There was another guy.
Yeah, there was
one of his critics had a boxing or MMA background. He didn't fight that guy. I follow football. I actually really enjoy him. He's completely insane. I've never met a German like him. Never.
Just causing harm to your business and getting it to the point where you might have to potentially fire people because it's costing so much revenue. It's it's not fair to the people in my companies.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
It's right.
It's just sad. It's not a thing I take joy in, but
right. Yeah. So
is this where he's mad?
So yes.
They're not done drafting it up, but once they're done, more than likely, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Interesting. Yeah, that's...
every law firm I've talked to, they're like, this would be the easiest win they've ever seen in their life. I mean, it's crazy. I had one tell me, you could chop up all the evidence into 3.
You know why he doesn't want to sue? Because he knows he'll win, but he's probably gambling, because he's looking at, really, in cloud capital, how much cloud capital I'm going to lose? Because there's going to be those people that... the lawsuit is proof that he's in the wrong. People hate people that are litigious. And, I was talking to somebody last week, but this guy's not going to stop. This is the one time that you have to, now I have, you back me into a corner, I have to be litigious. But I do believe that he was trying everything he could do to keep from doing that. Otherwise, he would have done it in the summer. That guy would have got
suing dog packs the wrong move. In my opinion,
I don't think.
In my legal opinion,
I don't think so. Because I don't think so. Because he's going to get a lot of hate in the beginning. I think if he wins the suit, public relations sides that will help him. He should sue somebody. He loses it, because here's another thing: they'll sue in the States. You have a lot of protections criticizing a public figure. But at the same time, he can prove tons of loss.
Well, the thing is, it's not that he shouldn't sue somebody. It's just Dogpack's the wrong person. He should sue Roseanne because Roseanne is actually probably the biggest driving factor of a lot of this, and her profile is much bigger than just this story.
Why not both?
So, well, I mean, I'd argue both and Jake Weddle. But the thing with suing somebody like Roseanne, as opposed to Dogpack's kind of a nobody in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Whereas Roseanne is
he's about to enter YouTube. He's going to Matt's What It Is space real soon. He's not going to be. If you're watching this Dogpack, you are not going to be a YouTuber. It's over. But go ahead, Beckett.
It's but suing Rosanna, you're suing somebody who is also YouTube aristocracy, very old school. It sends a very clear message that actually, if you're at a certain level, then you're fair game. And she is entirely vindictive. And also, also there's a TV presence for Rosanna. So it has an effect on the mainstream media of weird. This is a serious company doing something.
I should sue him. I would ask to get her flower pot so MrBeast could smoke her dad afterwards. That would be fucking awesome. Yeah, that's $5 million in your dad's flower pop. Hand it over.
give me your dad's like a fucking. Oh, that's fucked.
I'm smoking on your pops, blood. Man, this is the shit. This is the shittest weed I ever tasted.
I love the taste of Gino Panzino.
I think it'd be worse if it was like, this weed tastes like shit, man. Your pops fucking sucks.
Sue 3 separate times and win all 3.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Just play this bit, and
we're
then
getting mad.
Because you'd have enough for each. Like, one person I was talking to, he's won like 67 out of his last 70 cases, and he's like, "This would be literally the easiest case I've ever done." Like, it's because there's just so much blatant,
checkable lies,
misinformation, and
I do think he's fucking sending a message to Dogpack, and I do wonder if he's bluffing here.
Lies spread, like, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just go watch Soggy's video. Go look at his Twitter where he's redacted multiple ones of it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to be in this position.
Now, what do you think?
I believe that.
Do you think that there could be any sense of regret from that? I mean, optically, once again, there's a lot of things working against you on a constant basis because you're the biggest person in the world on YouTube and social media, and you're just crammed down people's throats.
My son doesn't give a rat's monkey's ass. He still wants to watch MrBeast. He didn't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not going to stop him. Hey, you can't watch MrBeast because he's a vicious businessman.
Yeah, that's got to be 99% of his viewership.
Yeah, like, my son.
Tell me how many people don't buy.
He wants to watch him play video games. He wants to watch him do his stupid shit, and that's all he cares.
It's the same with other companies. Nobody cares if they fucking put glass in DiGiorno pizzas or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no one cares that Nike's use like child labor. They're still going to buy Nike. No one cares that fucking Apple phones are built in like.
I even told Tommy.
No one gives a shit.
He finally asked, "What's going on with Chris?" I was like, "Well, he's a girl." It's like you just sort of look at his face, and I said, "Well, why did MrBeast fire him?" And I said, "Well, I think you know what I mean, but we're not going to get into it." He was being weird with kids, and boy, that shocked him. And you know what he did? He went in and watched some more MrBeast. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, "Wow, that's crazy. What's MrBeast doing?"
Unless the shit's in your backyard, like you're not gonna care if you're that.
No, I don't care either, and I wouldn't stop him from watching either. I don't care what I watched wrestling for how many years, and I knew Mr. McMahon was a bastard, for real, not just the character. I don't see any reason. Like I'm gonna let him stop listening to Michael Jackson. I know that show that came out with it. Of him was complete bullshit, but he did say these words: "It's good to share your bed with a child. It's the warmest thing to share your bed with your kids." Now, I wouldn't let my kid go to Neverland, but he can listen to fucking ABC 123 all he likes. I mean, it's just, who cares?
Algorithmically, like if you decide to sue this man, even if he deserves it or not, which is like obviously up to you.
Well, I just want the slander and disinformation to stop. It would be the bigger reason. But you're saying, when am I worried about how that would affect me PR-wise?
Yeah, just what do you think?
He's still funny if he still doesn't give a fuck. He wouldn't be able to understand it.
I'm getting canceled because I'm not suing him, because they're saying, well, Jimmy's not suing him, therefore there was truth, or Jimmy would be suing him. So at this point, I'm so big, it's kind of, most scenarios are like, either way, like there's a vast negative for me. People are like, well, he's not going to sue because he's worried about discovery. No, I don't give a fuck. Why do I care? I'm here. This is discovery. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's fair. And if you don't end up suing him, I'm going to think it's because about discovery. I got to be honest with you, pal.
And that they just...
I mean, there is a chance. See, I think I'm being generous to MrBeast here. I think he's not suing because he knows what that's going to do online. And I think he sees everything through that spectrum. And he might actually know, even if I win, I lose. So even if I sue one of these guys, I'm going to lose anyway. And then I'll have the...
I don't think Jimmy's bad... I don't think Jimmy is actually cruel. And I think he views suing someone like Dogpack as cool. Like, you look at the stories that come out of the MrBeast company, it's like, this person came in, they kind of screwed us over a little bit, they were useless. So, we gave them $500,000 and told them, to part ways with us. And I'm like, again, it's like the Trey Yates thing. Jimmy had the audacity to phone me after I was fired and ask me how I was doing. What boss phones what boss of a major company phones an employee and is like, I'm really sorry this didn't work out? No one does that. It's like,
but kids, children, morons that think that fucking drugged out looking prick dog pack, they were like, that's terrible. Should do it face to face. Not knowing anything. That's one of the problems I've run into online. It's like you have a bunch of children watching you, and the other ones are 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds that live with their parents, and they have no idea what they're talking about because they were never allowed to grow up.
No matter what I do at this point, like there's just a large group of people that are just gonna be unhappy, and that's just like a reality I have to be okay with.
That's what make me. That's true, and that's what would make me sue because because it becomes a point where there's got to be some justice here.
To be honest, as long as I agree with what I'm doing and I believe in what I'm doing, I mean that's all I really can do at this point.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, it's probably a minority. Well, it's definitely a minority of people just in general who actually care about this type of shit. But like, the suing, the silencing critics, for example, something very similar has happened. Well, not that similar, but something is happening to CoffeeZilla, who we'll talk about here in a minute as well. He's being sued. And that just, to someone like me, I care about like rationality and understanding and people being big and, communicating.
100%. And
this is,
I would just say, go watch the Soggy video. Look at all the blatant manipulation and lies. And this isn't me trying to silence them. This is me trying to this is like borderline IO.
Well, here's the thing. You can't see Jimmy still wants his clean cut image back and he's chasing this dragon.
Well, no,
Logan never had the damn good image to begin with.
It's like this. No. It's a point from Oompa of like silencing critics, and he's like, it's this whole thing of, well, don't you think about the precedent? Like you're suing somebody, like any other fucking like. Does anyone know what happens in these other communities? Like you go to Gore World, the like foodie beauty hater community. They're all fucking suing each other. Rakita Law got sued. Like Sargon of Akkad got taken to court over copyright. Like actually, it is kind of amazing how few people within commentary and like this. Yeah, it's wild. It is a privilege that this community has kind of agreed that no one sues each other. But if you go to anywhere else on the internet,
sued.
That's not the fucking case.
Yeah, especially MrBeast, because I'm sure he's been through a bunch of lawsuits we don't know about because companies are constantly suing and being sued. That's normal practice.
I just
it almost like when I explain to people, like I remember I'm not trying to shoehorn like Trump or politics into this, but when I tell people that the stuff that Russia did to try to affect the 2016 election is allies do that kind of shit. And they're like, no way. They can't believe it. Like, yes. Like, everybody's spying on each other all the time.
Yeah, Five Eyes.
Yeah. Like, that's
literally something we have.
And what they're doing is they're counting on your ignorance to outrage you in a lot of cases. So, like, just what you said before, like, oh, I can't believe you didn't fire me in person. To somebody who's ignorant, that sounds like a really lousy thing to do if you don't know anything on how companies work. So
same thing with like, oh, you're suing somebody who criticized you. Well, that sounds very lousy if you don't understand like how it works and as a business and all that, where you have to defend yourself.
There you go.
It to my employees because I can't look at someone in the eyes and go, sorry, you're getting laid off because he decided to keep spreading misinformation about us. Go complain to Dogpack.
I understand. It's like this
is bigger than me. I have a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of kids that work or are under
that
the people.
Oh, he's just making that. Oh, Jimmy's making exactly, and that's why you're obligated to sue. He's making the case why he has to. Yeah,
I employ that work for me. Like,
actually, I got to be honest with you. If he doesn't sue after this, being this blunt, if he doesn't sue.
Something's wrong.
Something is wrong. I think he absolutely has to sue now, especially bringing this up. I was shocked when I heard over the weekend when I was working on my new house that he had actually said this. I was blown away because everything I heard and the fact that he had done it back in the summer.
It's not just me. Like I can't,
of course.
So,
and it's also.
I want to hear. Like, does he ever get mad?
I got families and people with kids working for me. Slave labor.
107. 107.
107. I want to see him get mad.
You want to see him get married too?
Mad. Yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was him. I'd be hookers for life if I was him.
Forward, in your decisions that you decide to make, I would love to stay in the loop on
He's
that.
too rich. No one could ever love him for who he is, and just deal with that. It's a bad time. No, Jimmy, I'm telling you this for your own good. No one will ever love you for who you are. So
I became Mormon and married 100 people.
No one will ever,
That's his
ever
next
love
video.
you. Only there's no litmus test that you can give these bitches. They just want your money.
That because in the very beginning, I thought Soggy had good intentions.
Or dog.
Dog pack.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Soggy-
I don't think that's not a Freudian slip. That's just.
Come on. Okay, it's funny.
No.
It's funny. It's just
It
funny.
is funny.
It's just-
It's funny. It's funny. Okay, yeah.
does have good intentions, in my opinion. In the very beginning, and now things obviously are. He's turned
It's where he gets pissed off, right?
Yeah.
this into sort of his thing.
Good intentions, even though even the very first video literally was 90% lies.
It seemed.
You
right?
got manipulated.
Yeah,
but
of course. Yeah.
That doesn't make it good intentions.
Yeah. I'm just saying it seemed, and a lot of people also believe that.
Was it good intentions when he photoshopped a fake live stream and
No.
falsely accused me of not saying something I did say and falsely accused something? It was a good intentions when he put a king size Feastables bar beside a regular size Hershey's bar.
He's
Didn't-
angry.
I actually, he's angry, but I can't. I'm 100% with him on this.
He has the right, but it's just funny to
But
see.
It's funny to
just
see him
very-
pissed. Yeah.
This is the only point in the entire interview, in my opinion, that the veneer drops, and you
Yeah.
can kind of see what Jimmy is like
Yeah.
when he's actually pissed off.
I don't know.
If
The thing.
you,
I got news for everybody. Here's what Jimmy's really like, whether you're against him. He's a lot like Donald Trump or Vince McMahon or that other jackass that owns the Mavericks. I bet he sleeps about 4 hours a day. He lives, breathes, and works. They're called hyperproductive people. They're usually men, and they live this shit all day, all night. And you're lucky if your country produces enough of them. But socially, they're very difficult to work for. They're very difficult to be around because they don't want to know anything unless it's about making money, right? And I don't even think that's a bad thing because there's got to be a place for those type of guys. And if you can if you accept them for who they are, you can make a lot of money with them in a lot of cases. But they're not like you and me. It's the only thing like athletes, like these guys, they would compete over a coin flip or bet on a coin flip. I mean, they're like, he's one of those guys, but it's not with baseball or hockey. It's with business, and they're all like this. And if you know the business world and you run into a guy like this, you know what it is. These entrepreneur types, right? If you're a regular schlub that just wants to get a job and get married and go, you might find him deplorable. But it's just the way these guys work. We go ahead.
It's really interesting watching this reaction because, I've had meetings like this where a project or something's months overdue. There's been a load of fuck ups, and just the person who's kind of in charge has finally turned up, and everyone's been arguing for about an hour, and suddenly they go, "So which one of you thinks you're the one who fucked up?" Should we talk about that for a second? It's very laughy, jokey, but everyone goes quiet, and you're like,
but you know what's happening. Someone's getting picked. Someone's getting fired. Yeah, someone's getting fired. Yeah, I know what you mean. But that's business. A lot of kids they think going into the business world is like going to school. There's not much you can do besides fucking something crazy to get kicked out. No, once you leave college, once you go, you are in the field and you can get fucked illegally the wrong way. Things can go wrong and not be your fault, and it can be your fault, and you pay a price, a big price. But you can't convince that to people that are fucking, their nose are on lines. Their only a way to feel righteous is to jump on some kind of self-righteous hate chain and virtue signaling. Once you and are used to saying, listen, I think I need an emotional stress day. Guess what? Real world ain't like that. It's never been and probably never will be. And with Trump coming in, you can forget about it for at least the next 4 years. Companies are probably going to go back the way they used to. You fucked up, you're fired. I'll never forget that when I was a kid, because there was a show and it was made for kids. So I was a kid at the time. And it was an advertising company, and their job was to sell a line of advertising to a company, and they allowed the cameras in, and the guy comes in and he shows, this is what we got, this is what we think would be effective for you, what have you, and then they show everybody's really nervous, and they worked really hard, and they get it in, and turns out they don't get the job, right? And the manager comes in, well, guys, we didn't get this one, we'll just go get them the next time. And then my dad, I remember, he goes, stop. You know what really happens after this? That's not what happens. Somebody gets fired. That's exactly what happens every fight. I'm like, no, that's fucked up. They just didn't choose them. They did a good job. It doesn't matter. You failed. And that's what the real world's like.
It's like The Apprentice.
Yeah, I guess, but it's a game show.
No,
but
The Apprentice is more drawn out.
Yeah, it's more drawn out, more dramatic.
Gets,
that's the way it's like in the real world. If you don't think it's like that, or you think that's wrong, or that's capitalism or anything like that, well, try the alternative, because historically that's worked. No, that's like, and then you know what you do? You go out and get another job. That's the world.
You're fired.
Until you're fired.
Was that? And lied about us having more sugar than them? Was it? I mean, I could sit here and do this for the next 30 minutes.
I understand.
I think that's just a misconception that everyone has. It's like there's never good intentions.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just...
No, it could be good intentions. And I'll tell you why. That's the one thing that Soggy absolutely proved with the video MrBeast probably gave him begging for his fucking job. And he's sitting there saying, I'm not a disgruntled employee. This is what I think is right. And he's begging for his job. You knew all this shit? You know what a rotten motherfucker he was? And you begged for your job? No, there were bad intentions. He's 100% correct. His anger is justified, you know?
Mm-hmm. I watched that.
The tiny morsel of shit that Dogpack got right it seemed to be taken care of relatively quickly. I did not know about the stuff being rinsed, by the way, Beckett, when I heard that. And Chris got fired.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just lies. And everyone's like, oh my God. I was like, whoa.
We're just talking about optics, though.
Okay.
My point.
Optically.
Right. Optically.
People who fell for the optics. Yes.
But that's the lowest common denominator.
That's
what makes this entire world that we're in go round, is how people are reacting to things. You can't expect people to be... to go out.
That's the kind of guy Oompa is. That's the vibe I got from him. He's all optics all day, all night. Now... I've come to a crossroads with this. I used to find every one of these guys to be a total fucking phony, right? And they are. But this is a business, and optics are extremely important. But optics are not always ethically or morally right. And sometimes to show that you are your own man and that you do stick up for the right thing. I mean, look, I've avoided stuff. I've walked away with stuff. And then there's times where I was like, nope, can't do that. I have a relationship with my audience. I have to stand up in this spot. That's where I'm known for it. There does come a time where you got to do it. There's no choice. But you can't fight every single phony, so to speak. But that's the impression I always got from this guy. Everything is measured, and optics do probably replace truth. Truth is not the goal. Optics is the goal.
I think you can do both.
I think you do both too. I think you do both too. But I think to be really good, you got to be optics oriented. I think it's 80-20. 80-20 to be good. And oompaville is not a small channel. This humble little channel. He's really good at what he does.
He's only mid-sized.
Yeah. Like I said, he read me like a fucking book. Told me exactly what it. Like, go watch that lolcow interview. Like I'm about ready to chip away, and he's like, "No, you're right. What am I going to do then? You got me. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know.
You're right.
I was hoping to piss him off and tell him how lame his content was, and then he's being nice to me and telling me the truth. What am I going to do?
Yeah, it's amazing how much just things like simple things like tone matching. There are so many dramas where you watch people fuck them up, and you're like, I said this about a recent thing that's happening. It's like proper shit-a-tear drama, but. You know, I compared it to a conversation that I had with somebody in Commentary Hell, where I said, well, you keep bringing these people back and you keep bringing them onto the show. You know, they'd be completely ostracized from the community if not for you. And we're in the middle of this drama. Are you going to stop doing it? And he just turned to me and said, no, I'm not going to stop doing it. I don't care whether you like it or not. I like it. It's my content. I'm going to do it. And I was like, based. Like, it's going to affect your relationships with people, but based, that's just own it.
Sure.
And it killed that drama. Whereas if he'd said, no, I see what you mean, Beckett. I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. I'll change. I would have fucking laid into him.
Yeah, no.
But I couldn't once he'd said that.
You know what it reminds me of, Tommy? You watched the Boondocks.
No, I didn't. Never did. I only
You
watched
didn't?
it. No,
You
I only
didn't?
know that.
So,
one
so you
character.
don't know about the nigga moment?
What's that? Thank you, but go ahead. I'm gonna need some donations. You heard that. Thank you. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
But the context is key, all right? It's literally about the phenomenon of guys trying to go up to each other and start shit, and for no reason, and then they feed into one another, and then people get violent and they get the guns out. But then they show what happens when like somebody tries to do that with just some like random white dude.
Yeah.
He bumps into him. He's like, "Man, watch where you're going," and he's like, "Hey, wait a second, I'm white." And he walks away. And he's like, "Wait, where you going? You're throwing away a perfectly good chance to throw away your life."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I love that guy. Yeah, I should watch more.
Awesome.
All right, let me
It's
look at.
fucking
I want to look
hilarious.
at some else I want. Shadman poster, I definitely want. Jake Walter War Crimes, Delaware 2. Let's go back there.
Yeah. People allege that you hired a registered sex offender named Delaware. There's a big whole conspiracy with it. Why did you hire Delaware? And were you aware that he was a sex offender before you hired him? By the way, to preface this question, this is something that I think a lot of people probably feel like is really important. It is. So that in mind, that this is one of the most important things to me. I would love to hear the full truth response from you in regard to this.
Yeah, and I'm excited to put it out there because I think what people are envisioning is completely different than what actually happened. Yes,
Sure,
I did hire him, but for the context around it, I hired him when I was 19, so I was a teenager, and this is kind of leans a little bit into what we were talking before. This is back when...
when he says stuff like that, I feel like he's listening to the commentators and repeating their shit. You know that? I mean, because I think that's something you shouldn't say yourself. Let the commentators point out you were just a dumb teenager, not you.
It was just a couple of my friends from high school, my mom. My videos were getting bigger. I needed more help. And so I walked in because I'm dumb. Like, I probably should have gone on some site and hired people who had production experience, but instead I walked into my local Best Buy and I just hired multiple people. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I didn't know what a background check was. And I just hired a couple.
I don't believe that.
I didn't know what a background check was.
I mean,
so in all the years you heard the gun debate, you never heard what a get the fuck out of here. Come on.
People there that want to help me make videos.
Tyson worked there. They worked with Delaware. They, again, like,
his
benefit.
I do get the feeling. I'll tell you something. Like, watching this, I do get the feeling he's lying. I do get the feeling he lies. What he's lying about, I don't know how important in the grand scheme of things, but I do get the feeling he's lying. I do get the feeling that he takes the path of least resistance. I do think that he's just like oompaville and optics oriented, So like, it just sounds like something he repeated. Like, give me a fucking break. You didn't know what a background check was. So I was working. I had a background check when I got my first job when I was 14 and worked in a library. Get the fuck out of here. Like, are you kidding me? I was dumb because you're Southern. Yeah, I don't know that stuff in New Jersey. I mean, come on. I mean, it's a little minor thing, but it's just like, why?
Look, I can. Yeah, it's a weird thing to lie about. Like the truthful answer is probably, I'm a YouTuber. Why the fuck would I background check anyone? What YouTubers realistically?
That's a better answer. That's a better answer.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
and why? But guys like him don't think like that.
Videos. One of them was the person named Delaware, and no, I did not know he was a registered sex offender. There's a rumor that's gone around that said that he sat me and my mom down and told us. Obviously, I don't remember that happening. And when I read that tweet,
That's an interesting reply.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that?
Why didn't he just say that didn't happen?
Yeah. That is
not
the thing to say. If you, I tell you something, Jimmy, you never want to be on a stand.
I don't remember that happening. Shit. I didn't know what a background check was.
Because here's the thing. It's not a lie if it comes up later and then he could say he forgot. It didn't happen. I think I would have remembered that. Oh, by the way, I'm a sex fetish. Yeah, we're back. Like, no.
Thing I did was I called my mom and I was like, hey, this is like 7 or 8 years ago. Just put this in context. 7 or 8 years ago, not indicative of my company today, but I was like, did this happen?
He's using all the talking points of Soggy. He's like repeating Soggy's talking points.
Because someone's claiming this happened. My mom said, I would have literally quit.
You mean his own talking
honestly,
points?
probably
That
shut
he...
the business.
That's right.
Yeah, the ones he paid for.
Before I ever let my teenage son hire a registered sex offender knowingly, which I have a very protective mom. So, I mean, even if you don't believe...
He's oh my God, that's the talking points everybody else is using.
So, what came first, the chicken or the egg, Tommy?
Well, you know,
Like,
the one thing I noticed about Harmful Video...
At this point, I hope they're paying Soggy, because if he's taking Soggy's talking points and using them...
that's free. That's free.
Oh, shit, he went in a goddamn Best Buy to get Delaware. Why not get some dope off the internet to do your damage control? You know?
Believe me,
I hate this fucking
at least
interview.
believe that. I feel like it's not absurd to believe that my mom wouldn't have knowingly let her teenage son hire a registered...
I'm sorry. That's fucking not good in my book. That's like send Nick the Oreo a check now. I mean, that's what he's...
Mom, help me.
By the way, I don't think anything he said is like illegitimate as far as defense, but why is he using them? Why? It didn't motherfucking happen. Not, what is Nick saying? What is Soggy saying? I mean, what the fuck? Really?
sex offender, like that just doesn't even... Like,
let Nick do that. Nick point out you're fucking, I'm stupid, I'm intended. Like, yeah, I get that. Well, that's true, but it's so weird listening to him regurgitate it.
So there's a point. There's a point we skipped over in this video. I can't remember what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But like basically, the first time they bring up Soggy, Umpa's like, so you know, people have been responding to detractors, and there was this like he shows a tweet. It's like the first, you know, I think the first one was Chuck, and then you know we've just had this thing out of Soggy, and I found that this is what got my whole thing going of commentary being written out of things, which is fine. It's whatever. It's cool.
Sure.
But it's like you're highlighting Soggy going after detractors, but you guys all know, Keemstar was doing this. You know that Dioria was doing this because you know you've clearly watched their stuff. You've spoken to Keemstar. So here's one thing I got accused of sawing out over this.
Yeah.
You know Rosanna's video on like the recent one on MrBeast. You know she shows screenshots of Chris Tyson's Discord in that video.
Yeah. I forgot. Remind me.
Okay, so when talking about Chris Tyson's Discord, she shows screenshots of the Discord. We went back and checked. There are fucking screenshots. They are Cope and Seed screenshots.
Okay.
They're the exact ones we posted on Twitter. And it's this really weird fucking thing where people who either hate this side of the internet or like are kind of denying its existence are using the evidence directly from it to make their arguments on both sides.
Well, I got news for you.
Bizarre.
The most powerful part of the internet is the commentary community. Even because even a fucking 100 sub guy, if he gets a good enough video and hits the algorithm hard, it could change the entire view of the entire platform. And like that. So it's one of these things where everybody hates us. But if we're on their side, it's okay. It's everybody's guilty pleasure. Because I used to watch Keemstar, you know, before Beta and stuff, because it was like a guilty little pleasure. And one of the things that kind of made me proud is when Augie and Bobax and Tipster and myself, you know, we were busting the Susie Lou stuff. I think there's a real place for it. And there's a lot of shit with. I'm not saying it's like a serious job, but you know, commentary has done some good things, and I think he knows that. But he probably hates us too, because we make videos on him. You know, even prior to this whole thing, I'm sure that people made hate videos of MrBeast. It's like, oh, commentators, fuck them. But you know, yeah, it seems really bad and really just optics repeating other people's points. Like to me, if something like this, you know, I can't believe I could see if he said, look, my mom was there. I don't know how you can believe it. It didn't fucking happen. Not I didn't remember. Because that means if he's on the fucking stand, he could say, I don't remember. Which, honestly, if he says, I don't remember in a deposition, I'm going to fucking not believe him.
I just got a DM from Hezekiah, and he's like, I don't hire pedos, just ask my mom. That's the defense there.
Yeah, I suppose. And, you know, this is something, like, I think that's a perfectly good defense, because it doesn't make sense that he would sit there and say that, and they would be... I'll work with you. I have trouble believing that's the case. But there's the other thing that Harmful kind of pointed out. Seems like everybody knew about it.
Mm-hmm.
See, like people knew. People knew about it.
It's not necessarily that he made the name for that reason. It's that other people, like, they
yeah, but in order to make up the bullshit story about not going to Delaware, they had to know that there was some kind of sex offense to make up that bullshit story.
Right, that's what I mean. That it's not necessarily whether he made it or not. It's whether, you know, people in his company were aware of it and were co-opting it for that.
Yeah. Like
that's
that's like weird thing too. Like they all sat around like, wow, you know that guy, he's like a sex offender, crazy, and just like not like right to HR. You know, like is he? Oh, that's good news. You know, I'm out of here.
There's loads of stuff with Jimmy that like the question that got asked was, did Jimmy know? And there's so much shit with this.
He didn't answer it.
Well,
he didn't answer the question. He said I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that always comes back to me is the discount milk stuff, and I'll literally never shut up about this.
Well, explain the discount milk.
In Chris Tyson's Discord, there was one of the moderators called Discount Milk. Discount Milk was the one who was basically running a lot of stuff, but also posting an awful lot of the hentai memes and things and interacting with the minors. Now, what's interesting about Discount Milk is he met Chris and I believe Jimmy, at least it's implied, IRL. He met them through a networking thing. Now, Discount Milk was also a moderator in MrBeast Discord that was private, which we don't have logs for. So the question I have is, if this is how he was behaving in Chris Tyson's Discord, why wouldn't he be behaving that way in Jimmy's Discord? And how would Jimmy not know about him? That's where I'm at. And no one has those logs.
Those are the ones that got rinsed.
Well, we have the logs for Chris Tyson's private Discord. MrBeast's private Discord, which is a separate one, was never logged. So, but there's one thing in there that's in Chris Tyson's where Lava, who was the minor, he was setting up a rules page, and he said, "Hey, Discount Milk, I pulled your rules page from MrBeast server to use in Chris Tyson's." So he's saying, you wrote the rules page for MrBeast's Discord and I'm using it here. So there's definite crossover.
So you don't know. So what you're saying is there's no direct proof that he knew, but you're really suspicious that he knew about
the problem
Chris.
Is, yeah.
Okay.
Like I can't prove it.
Yeah.
And I'm not making that accusation.
Yeah.
Because Dogpack has muddied the waters so much.
Sure. Yeah, that's another problem. Thanks, Dogpack. Can't get through to anything because of you. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way to tell.
Yeah.
He's telling the truth.
They have fucked this story. And they blamed everyone else for it. And I hope he gets sued into oblivion.
Oh, me too. Me fucking too. Jesus Christ. But that's a good point. See, that the thing is with because they did it with Jake Weddle. Jake Weddle was like, somebody came up to him and said that, but then he said he heard it in a Discord, and Harmful used that as like, you could have disproved this by just doing a search. You know, like how good journalism is this? And the follow-up questioning that Soggy failed to do is really some of the worst shit that he didn't do. Like he wasn't interested in the most interesting things. It's just really weird.
He is very tunnel vision on just taking down Dogpack, which again, I could appreciate because so am I. I've said this before. I'll sacrifice a lot of people to the pile of burning Dogpack. But I also recognize that when I say shit like that, maybe you shouldn't like exactly. You know, you should be aware of my biases. One thing that is kind of funny in this, by the way, sure. If you go to 1:16:30,
let me see.
I think it's. I think this is kind of interesting as a question. Is a question to even ask.
But it's a little funny when you think about it.
I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's absolutely... The Devil Horns thing, Dogpack actually cut a part out of his first video about you being the Antichrist. Did you see that?
I did.
What'd you think of that?
I'm the Antichrist.
Which did you think about being?
I mean, you did get here a little fast, to be honest.
They are Southerners. Give them a break.
You teleported.
The sad
in.
part is he was being serious in it, and
Yeah, he cut that part out.
and that he showed that part publicly, and people still were like, okay, well, Kim saying Jimmy's the Antichrist because one of his studios was a church, because there's not many warehouses in North Carolina, so I just bought a church and converted it into a warehouse. And like he unironically was claiming I was the Antichrist in the same video as all these other accusations, but everyone's like, oh, that's the only crazy accusation. Everything else is true. When I saw that, I was like, okay, now people
It's all right. We did that for Soggy as well.
like be like, okay, maybe he's just, but didn't change anything.
I mean, yeah. Does it like bother you? Did that bother you specifically?
Oh, how do we feel? Fucking questions. Oh, didn't we have enough of them with fucking Soggy?
Or is it just because how do you?
MrBeast says that's good because the Antichrist is a very powerful person and everybody loves him, right?
I would have liked that answer better.
I'm not the Antichrist.
I only have to worry about the flaming.
He
sword of
was
my-
more firm on being not the Antichrist than if the fucking what's his name said he was a pedo or not the
Yeah.
Delaware.
No, there is a possibility. I'm going to try to be generous here. He said that not thinking about that.
I thought you were going to say there is a possibility, trying to be generous, that he could be the Antichrist.
No. That he like going back to what he said before. Like I don't remember that. Maybe that's his way of saying no. I know when you're on the stand, you don't answer anything like that. It's direct. It's binary. And maybe he just did that not thinking, and that's entirely
maybe he
possible.
meant like I would have remembered that if it had happened. No,
that seems like such a fucking easy one.
It's a
no, it didn't happen. Like he got more angry about the fucking dog pack videos and all the bullshit that he put in there than that question alone. That question didn't bother him that much.
I mean, where's the Bible? I'm not the Antichrist. There you go.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That's actually a Quran.
I kind of thought you might.
You've been caught,
it is
Mr.
Weird,
Beast.
it is a weird one because I've heard people say that in my real life. They're like, his name is. We live out here in the
the Beast.
Yeah.
All right, and they're like, his name is Beast. It's got the 6,000. That's a 6. Like people, I think that's very funny, to be honest, and in like an ironic way. I don't actually obviously believe that you are the Antichrist.
Thanks for clarifying.
I'll be honest. I don't even know what that means.
That's exactly what someone who believes the other guy's the Antichrist would say in front of the Antichrist.
I don't even. If I was just like, I tweeted, yes, I'm the Antichrist. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. Do you ever
He's getting
speak
nervous.
in Babylonian curses?
Only occasionally.
Well, it's very clear that he didn't grow in a typical Southern home then, because he wouldn't know what the Antichrist is.
For the Babylonian curses, he should have said, "I don't remember."
Yeah.
Not in the past year.
Now he's saying he didn't know. What
Kind of moved away from it.
Yeah, you've stopped speaking in tongues.
No, we need to stop joking like this because that's gonna be the
People
next.
are gonna.
It's gonna be the next more Pegasus video.
MrBeast Antichrist confirmed.
Yeah.
Well, that guy I wanted. I heard he's deleting videos now. Pegasus, right?
Oh yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that.
he needed a purge. Yeah.
Scumbag.
Can't fucking blame him.
I bet he's pissing his little pants there. He was he built his career on the backs of fucking a lot of Diorio's work with Alex, and with the Alex stuff in 2019, Pegasus, and I remember I talked to him. He wasn't very nice to me. He used a video game in his thing. I was like, where'd you get that? You can get that on Steam. And he wrote me back something. I don't know if it's exactly. I'm paraphrasing. Like, why would you want that? Because it looked like a cool game. I was like, you like that? What's the name of the game?
Fuck.
Okay, if you want. Okay, you're being a fucking dick to me. You're using all my fucking content in your videos. You know, and so he was a real fucking prick. I'm glad that people got around to that douchebag. He's another one, that path of least resistance guy. What a jerk off. You know, I'm not allowed to fucking. It was like some 80s looking. What do they call that? Vaporware type video game. And he's like
Vaporwave.
Yeah, it was something like that. And he's trying to make me feel shitty about it or something. I'm like, oh, fuck you, pal. You know. What else do we got? Shadman post rate definitely wanted Jake Weddle and war crimes. Let's do that. What do you think?
Yeah.
Or should we still? Is there something here? Because they're bullshitting now.
Oh, go to one. Just go to 118.
118. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And if there's something missing, I'm willing to take a call. If you can get a timestamp, don't just go the part where know the timestamp, and we'll check it out. 118. We're there.
They're gonna take the clip of me talking about the thumbnail with the horns and put that there.
Yeah, I'll show them a picture of my circle with a pentagram in it that you spawned out of.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you plan? So back to
What's a pentagram?
philanthropy, to things that actually matter and are actually important. Because that's what the whole point of this video is to try to do.
I didn't know what a
we're being
pentagram
serious.
was when I was just a teenager.
It's serious.
Hey, lock in.
Yeah, it's a serious video, and we're trying to be honest.
It actually is serious.
It really is very serious.
It actually is serious. You better not fuck up, Oompa.
More transparency in how funds are.
I'm going to say something controversial. I don't think he did that bad of a job. And he definitely did a better job than Soggy did interviewing those fucking employees who I don't take seriously. I don't think it's that bad of a job. I think MrBeast's performance is a little thin.
Yeah.
Used for your philanthropic efforts for Peace Philanthropy, your 501.
Which is
I've
weird
seen a
because
lot
he
of people-
said he'd prefer doing the interviews like in the future to be more plain rather than the statements on fucking Twitter about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he saying that like he's more?
Yeah, he
he's
did say that.
getting comfortable with this format. Well, I hope he's getting comfortable with it because you got to practice, buddy.
I think we've gone past the bit. It was 118. I think you're at 119.
Must have talked over it.
In like an ironic way. I don't actually obviously believe that you were.
Yeah, we did this.
I'll be honest. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, we did that. We did this already.
Oh, Pegasus gets a mention.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that. That's when I went on my rant. Yeah.
Have I lost my mind? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
cool. Right. No, that's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Jake Weddle and war
I'm
crimes.
Clearly suppressing Pegasus.
I want to see
Fucking
this.
instantly erasing it from my brain.
Now on to Jake Weddle.
Yes.
Right.
That guy was a dick to me.
Another guy.
An entire dog pack video.
Yeah, dude. He also has a mustache as well. I'm not sure if There's an interview with a former employee and contestant named Jake Weddle in which he alleges inhumane treatment on set, even war crimes. Use the turn of phrase war crimes. How do you respond?
Well, that's kind of been debunked by Mindful because the way, from Soggy's perspective, not from. Oh yeah, because these
allegations.
Yeah, it's not.
Dogpack himself said that.
So Dogpack himself did say it was war crimes. Okay.
Not war crimes. He said technically it doesn't constitute it.
Yeah. So and then people keep riding this thing that they were being literal and what have you. Okay.
I mean, yeah. I want to be honest. Having watched a fair amount of Weddle's content, I get it. I imagine there were people in that studio who were like, is this cruel? And other people in the studio being like, I think we should keep going. Can we waterboard him? Because I would. Like,
yeah.
Are you like...
Yeah, he looks like a guy.
Come on.
I'd actually like to waterboard him either. I'm not anti-waterboarding, by the way. I know that'll piss off a lot of liberal. I think it's funny. That's torture. I know.
Place to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Glad I can talk about this one. So I think I should set the floor because maybe not everyone here fully even knows what the challenge was or anything. So yeah, I think it would make sense to. So for the Weddle video, Jake Weddle was the person who competed in one of my videos. The video was we built a room in our studio, and then the challenge was every day you live in this room, you win $10,000. And then it was kind of like a white padded room. There's like a pool table, a bed in there, bunch of other items, blah blah. And let me just gather my thoughts on this one.
We hired African warlords.
I have no sympathy for Weddle, though. I mean, like, it's supposed to be like humiliating, degrading, and it's supposed to be difficult. That's why you get $10,000 a day. And I think somebody jokingly said, "Yeah, we're fucking, you were in Iraq. This be a war crime." Like maybe just to spook them, Sort of like I remember I went in this roller coaster with my daughter in New Jersey. It was a big one at grade 6 Flags. And I was scared, I'll be honest with you. And I was trying to look like a pussy in front of my daughter. And the guy gets on there and he says, "Listen, I know a lot of you guys are nervous. Don't worry, you're going through a loop at something like 75, or it's like 89 miles an hour. Don't worry about a thing." And then he pulls the fucking thing and we like go off. That's the way I think Weddle was told. I think that's what that in that aspect they were just kind of fucking with him.
I want to say I think it's just the best way to
like I just like
I gotta be careful. I don't care what they did to him unless it was illegal. Like I don't give a fuck what they did. It's a challenge. You failed.
I mean,
get the fuck out. You know, I mean, I don't give a shit.
I mean, Weddle's the sort of person that, you know, justifies the existence of black sites. Like, I look at Guantanamo Bay and I'm like, I get it. You know, like, there are Weddles in the world.
Yeah, like, this is why, you know, people just want to torture other people because it's fun.
I hate this guy
so much.
He signed up for that. And he chose to be a pussy. You know what kept me going in that thing is uncomfortable. I don't want people calling him saying I'm a pussy. You know, but he doesn't have a problem with that clearly because he's a professional pussy.
Talk about this is to also talk about how we did similar videos with other people. Because
Arnett, he would have left any time.
One of the things is like multiple people can do the same thing and experience it differently. That's what's a little tricky about these like contestant-based videos. I can never know 100% how something's going to affect someone, right? So similar to the Weddle video, I just want to lay the foundation before we go in specifically to that. Similar to that, we also did a video where we put did you see the video where we put two people in a room, Bailey and Susie, 100 days trapped together? So one thing that Weddle struggled with was the lights being on, and he mentioned that in the video. But Bailey and Susie, on day 20 of 100 Day Trapped Together, I offered to turn the lights off for part of their prize pool. And they said no. And like the lights wasn't, I mean, I'm sure it was difficult, but it wasn't like that big of a difficulty for them. And so it's like something for them that's not that big of a difficulty for other people can be, you know, challenging and hard. And like what I'm trying to say is you never know how someone's going to react to something, right? It's impossible to fully predict. And so
that's the whole point you do a video like that. I don't understand why you didn't see like it. Like, I think the only thing they have to change is like if they realize the guy's not cut out. No, you lose.
That's one of these variables of these challenges, which is why we give people the ability to quit. You know what I mean, or to leave at any point. And so in his video, you know, he went 11 days, won $110,000. Right? I believe it was 11 days. Yeah. Yes. And then he decided to quit on that day, and you know, he mentions this in his video, like around day 11 or 12. I don't know what the day is off the top of my head, but he was struggling, and so we did turn off the lights. We sent a psychiatrist in there to check in on him, and we were like, yeah, he's not doing too well, and we ended the challenge, and we paid him.
That's it.
Didn't go long enough where we got a video, so we didn't end up uploading it. But I think the big thing is just that's why we allow people to leave these challenges. Like my goal when doing these,
you don't get a choice, because if that is kidnapping, you have to do that. You know, I mean,
to like, you know, break people mentally.
I lost them.
Or push them past the limits. It's just to like create an environment where they can challenge themselves and do something interesting or cool, and then when they've had it, like, leave. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of how I would describe it. Mm-hmm. Does that, I mean,
makes sense to me.
What I'm saying.
I think that makes sense.
He's like, in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed Jake Weddle to leave. I should have kidnapped him.
Because then he'd actually be, then his story would actually fucking have some weight.
Yeah, but it'd still be funny.
Voluntary challenge.
Jimmy's meant to have done all this philanthropy,
and now you can't even do a challenge like it. Because and here's that's the thing, he screwed up for everybody else, because now you can't do a cool challenge like that anymore.
Honestly, I think it would be hilarious if MrBeast was just evil.
Yeah.
Just like
isn't
all
that
these...
like isn't that a fucking Meat Canyon video where like someone ends up in the future and it's like a dystopia with MrBeast robots that like chase you down and give you stuff?
Paid exponential amounts of money, and you know, after all that stuff came out, and he sort of made the claims of how he was mistreated, etc. You reached out to him after the fact as well.
Yeah, I mean, now that you bring, I didn't want to bring that kind of stuff up, but yeah, also off camera after he made that video, I reached out and was like, hey man, like obviously we weren't trying to cause you any, you know, mental stress with that video or anything, and is there any way I can help? And I ended up, you know, he's seemed like he really needed some financial help, so I ended up sending him $50,000 completely off camera or anything. I mean, he talked about it publicly so people know, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure he was
Can we accept money now? Fuck it. Fuck it. If we're at this point in the drama, can I have some money?
Yeah.
Like, where's my money? I got accused of being a paid op. Give me my
that stuff you said. Yeah, this money.
They keep calling me ACSCP. Where's my money? No.
He really is a professional pussy.
Stuff you said. I mean, yeah, this money. Is this $50,000?
He looks like one.
Well, first of all, you're going to tax it, so let's say it's more like $30,000.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Yeah. Anybody gets a prize. Wasn't enough. He's just a greedy fuck. And it got rectified, and he's helping Pansino and Dogpack? Get the fuck out of here.
That's good.
You know, he made a sketch accusing Keemstar of taking money, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made it. He made this like comedy.
Keemstar wasn't so cheap, he'd sue you. Really?
But Weddle is like the only person who has been directly and confirmedly paid by MrBeast in this whole fucking thing, you know. And the only person who's swept for Chris Tyson, but it is somebody on Dogpack's side. It's Trey. You know, like all these accusations they throw out at the detractors.
It's really tough for me to hate Mr.
It's a big tent. The anti-Beast.
It's a big tent of just a YouTuber. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's a big tent of YouTuber. And you know whose fault that is? If you were disappointed, you believing that these people are something they're not. You believing that, well, my guy is different. That's what it is. It's your fault.
Yeah, viewer. Now, please donate. Please donate.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Truth.
We will read your message
because it's just a sort of a voluntary challenge, and it's difficult to.
I would have took one look at that guy. He's like, he's not going in there. That guy's a pussy. I really would have.
Well, you know, the background checks. We know MrBeast's history of that. You can't background check for pussy. You can't do
it's a very YouTube thing. And the comparison of that to like war crimes, fairly tone deaf.
Yeah.
To compare it, like that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's we can move on.
Yeah, that's really that's really not taking Mohammed Zakari's torture and fucking that he deserved in Guantanamo Bay very seriously. It's kind of like saying everything's the Holocaust. That really is offensive to the Jews.
The CIA is watching MrBeast videos like, we've been doing it wrong this whole fucking time.
Yeah, give him a light to turn on.
We should have gave them Feastables and lunch leaves while we were torturing them.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of hate this point as well. It feels like a lot of it got like so much stuff has been presented out of context.
Yeah.
From the anti-MrBeast side. I'm open about this. My master's degree was counterterrorism, and like during that,
we should talk. So you know how to pour water down somebody's nose better than anybody I know.
Well, this is my point. During one of our lectures, I was put in an enhanced interrogation position.
Good.
Now, if I just presented that and just said at university, a lecturer conducted enhanced interrogation techniques on me, I was tortured. That sounds really fucked up, but actually, it's like no. I said I will see how long I can hold that position as part of a lecture because it was interesting. Like the context really fucking matters for these things.
Yeah,
and like Weddle's like, nah, I was fucking war crimes, bro.
Well, you literally signed off on it. It's the same thing. You signed off to have these things done to you.
Yeah. That's the only thing that you signed up. They told you this is nuts. And you flaked out. And then he went 10 days. Or 11 days. That's 100 and...
Yeah, on the 11th, after the 11th day, he's like, wait a minute, this is wrong.
Yeah,
I'm a victim.
Fuck out of here. Oh, that guy's such a phony.
Not, to be honest. There was litigation found against you surrounding Beast Games, your show on Amazon.
How much do you care about Beast Games?
Don't care.
How much do you care about Beast Games? Blind people.
How about I want Shadman and Crip?
Yeah, okay.
Let's go crypto
216.
first. Crypto will finish with Shadman.
Crypto first?
There was a comprehensive report published that painted a negative light on crypto dealings allegedly associated with you. To what extent were you involved in these crypto transactions, and how do you respond to CoffeeZilla's video on you detailing these allegations? I thought he gave you a benefit of the doubt in that video.
Yeah.
I think he's a very reasonable guy, to be honest. I think he's a very smart, reasonable guy who cares about like doing the right thing, which is pretty rare on YouTube.
I do. I could. Yeah. See, here's the thing about oompaville. I think he's very smart.
You know, how do you?
Because I one of the few people I've talked to that are really sincere was in all the time doing this is like Drew is sharing, fucking Mudahar and CoffeeZilla. Just like I get nothing but sincerity from all of them.
Yeah, how would you respond to Coffee's video?
Yeah, Coffee's video and the report. Well, so I'll start off with the report. I mean, most people probably haven't even read it, but that's what kind of spawned that whole thing was this. Did you see it? Like that? Yeah. So the gist of this crypto report that was 1 second. Sorry, it's not my. The gist of this report was Jimmy is too stupid to like make this kind of money, therefore it must be insider trading. This is his wallet. You know, clearly there was insider trading because he never would have been able to make this kind of money.
Yeah, I hope he's not saying that's what fucking CoffeeZilla said, because that's not what CoffeeZilla said.
No, that was I think the original accusation.
Coffee in that statement we gave him.
Well, I got to be honest with you. It is suspicious that the investment pulled that much money. And I remember this as soon as Bill Clinton was elected, all of a sudden Hillary Clinton made a killing in the commodities market, which is an extremely difficult market. I think it's the same one they sort of represent in that movie Trading Places. And like this is it's all over the place. It's extremely difficult, and she made a bazillion of bucks of money. And I remember the New York Times writing like just how smart she was to go into this really difficult. You know, she fucking knew something. And there was an investigation. They didn't find anything, but it was bizarre. So I do think
how many
it does count for something. Died. It's a red flag. It's not necessarily a guilty thing. You put $10,000 in, you make fucking 10 million. Somebody's got to be looking into that for sure. Now, I'm not accusing him of insider trading. I don't understand this shit enough to do that. But I mean, the fact that he made a lot of money is definitely a point of interest for sure. I just want to state that before we hear whatever the fuck it is he's going to say.
Was managed by a fund, so I wasn't the one managing the wallet. You know, I've never had access to that wallet. I've never done the buying and selling on that wallet. There's a actual professional who's written books on crypto and lived and breathes crypto every second of the day managing it. So most of the allegations there like are just answered by like, I am too stupid to do that. That's why a fund was managing it. You know what I mean?
I don't like that answer at all.
And yeah, I mean, like Coffee said, like if he literally said this in a video. If you like Jimmy, then you're like, yeah, he has answers for everything, and this checks out. And if you don't like Jimmy, then you're gonna go, you know, there's obviously wrongdoing here. But yeah, I mean, the honest truth is like, I make videos. I'm running 7 businesses. I got a lot going on, and yeah, I invested in a crypto fund. They invested on my behalf, and I've never like had access to that wallet. They're the one doing the buying and selling. I mean, there are thousands of transactions on there. Like, I don't even have that kind of time. I'm sure.
I don't like these answers at all.
I don't know. I think like you could look into the fund and see like whether there's anything sketchy with that. But like, I mean,
but didn't CoffeeZilla say something like show that he already owned certain coins and then he would feign interest on it? So I'm trying to understand this. I'm not saying this is a fact.
Sure.
He addresses that in the interview.
Oh, he does. Okay, he feigned interest in it, and then he'd fucking sell. Now, and I think it's the type of thing that a lot of people are doing that, so they're all getting away with it. I mean, if fucking, you know, Ice Poseidon can tell Coffee's up. You're right, it's a rug pill. You know, I mean,
my question.
When he's doing that all of it, but I mean, but go ahead.
My question is, does MrBeast even run his own social media at this point? Does he run his own Twitter?
Probably, I suppose.
Because like,
you know, that doesn't matter though too, because if he's if somebody is manipulating his Twitter in his behalf that he makes money on, that's his fucking problem. If that's true, I don't say it is, but if that's happening, whether he's typing it in his phone or not, doesn't make a fucking difference.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much with Nick here. That I don't really understand the crypto stuff. I kind of don't. It's not that I don't care. It's that I'm just like,
look, when he,
it's so far outside.
I don't even know if it's illegal. I'm pretty sure it would be illegal if it happened on the stock market and somebody did something like that. And he's in a unique position to be able to do something like that. If I feigned interest in a coin, nobody would give a fuck, you know. But he's MrBeast and I'm not, and I don't know the legalities of that, and I can't say it's illegal, but it does look fucking shady. And maybe it's one of those things like, look, people that make big money in this world bend the fucking rules for sure. And then what you usually do is you don't make them retroactive. You change the rules to make it more fair. And maybe that's where we're at with crypto or something. But I don't like I'm too stupid. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here. There's no more a stupid statement than saying MrBeast is a stupid person. You know, and his name just happens to be on everything. I mean, like, what the fuck? Oh, it's on my account, but I made all the money. What the fuck? You know? And I'm sorry.
You could probably even look at it and see like days where I was like maybe in solitary confinement or like
it's volume of crime versus resources to prosecute. Well, the way I understand the way cops work, and I'm sure the fucking FEC works the same way. It's is this prosecution going to help or hurt my career? Hurt? No, it's gone. If I don't prosecute this person, is it going to help or hurt my career? If I don't prosecute, it'll harm my career. I'm prosecuting. That's the way it fucking works. That's the way cops, that's the way detectives are. That's the way they take charges on people. That's the way the whole world runs, no matter what country it fucking is, right? It's just the way it is. You people that think that somebody commits a crime and fucking it gets prosecuted like automatically, you're out of your fucking mind. This goes into what we were talking about before, where children don't know how the world works. No, it doesn't. You may commit a crime, a fucking district attorney may know it and say, you know what, I got too much on my plate and this ain't going to help my career. In fact, it might even hurt it. And I know damn well this guy and I could convict him. That's the way the real world works and always did. Always did. It's not like, oh, that's a real bad district attorney. No, that's the realities of being a district attorney. So I don't know how that works in the FCC. I can't say that. So the idea that I don't know if he's getting away with it for that reason. I don't even know if it's illegal, you know. But it does seem sus, and I think I could say, hey, I'm uncomfortable with that. All right, there you go. But I mean, CoffeeZilla didn't even say it was illegal. And you got to wonder if he didn't say it was illegal or give any legal definitions, because he's involved with a lawsuit from some scumbag trying to keep him quiet. Because I vouch for CoffeeZilla's integrity. I do trust that guy a lot. And I have to trust him because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I didn't even have access to a computer and there's trading.
True.
So for the conspiracy theorists that think I'm lying and using the fund as a cover up, like, I mean, there's got to be some way where you could just figure that out, like, or I was on a plane ride or something. But yeah, that's like the honest transparency is, you know, I was in a crypto fund and people thought I owned the wallet.
I bet he wouldn't go on CoffeeZilla and get interviewed.
And it's called Wu-Tang Clan.
It never goes well for people when
do
they
you
do.
listen to Wu-Tang Clan?
I have, yes.
I don't.
Additional context: Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. All right.
I feel like that's another.
Cash rules everything around me. Crazy money.
Cash rules everything around me. There you go.
Yeah.
I had to educate myself on what Wu-Tang Clan was. So
nothing to fuck with.
I think that's pretty interesting. Because I mean, like the whole like just YouTubers in any way being involved with crypto.
It's funny because oompaville does remind me of old dirty bastard. But he would get a limo to drive up to the welfare office.
Yeah, I don't think you have to. I get oompaville feels like he has to, and we haven't watched the whole interview here. Like when Jimmy gives an explanation, it's like, yeah, kind of right, Jimmy. You know, you don't have to do that. You can go silent and go to the next fucking question. And I know you just said, you know, it seems like anything with crypto freaks people out. And Jimmy says
that's why I literally put it in a fund, because I was like, I don't want to like fuck with this stuff and like be you know, I just like I want someone
responsible.
You thought, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Knows what they're doing to do it, to make sure things are above board. So that's literally why I did that, right? It's because I was like,
all right, fair enough.
If I'm buying and selling,
but here's the thing with something like that: if they do something illegal, it's on you.
Yeah.
And I'm too stupid does not like imagine going to the judge and saying that, or the FCC and say, you know, everything's in my name, but I'm really dumb kid.
Maybe I mess things up or do something dumb. So I was like, oh, this fund is led by someone who knows what he's doing. Here you go. You know.
And I got to be honest, this is where I open up. Like, do you think that's a reasonable excuse if there's something illegal going on here, that you're just a dumb kid? I mean, that's the question I would have. That's my follow up.
That was literally the whole logic behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. On to some philanthropy and charitable work stuff. So
don't care. I don't. I really don't. I want to know.
You wanted to talk about the Shadman post.
I want to do crypto too, and then go back to Shadman.
Now, a little bit more on the crypto stuff. I know I talked about CoffeeZilla a little bit yesterday. Interview? He's awesome.
Yeah, he basically missed these questions out, and then he phoned him the next day to like catch up. and ask the other ones
to avoid criticism.
He does really good work on YouTube, and he holds people accountable. And it's just impressive. He does actual real investigatory work. Like, he's not the guy who makes videos out of convenience like most of like me and a bunch of other commentary YouTubers. So, I feel like it's my responsibility to ask some more questions about the crypto stuff, because we sort of glossed over it a little bit yesterday. And it's one of those things where it's note heavy, receipt heavy. So, if you don't know something, you just let me know. And if you have to go find information or whatever to back up what you're saying, I don't expect you're like a politician and have all your fucking,
shut up and answer the question.
Philosophy.
Oh my
He's really dancing around. Oh God, I can see why people have problems with this.
Or politics.
Jimmy, please just answer. Listen, if you're uncomfortable, Jimmy, just let me know. Like
I don't think it's that bad, and I'll tell you why I don't think it's bad. It's bad because nothing happened here from him that it surprised me. I figured this is exactly what I expected. So it really wasn't that bad. It's just what I expected.
I don't expect you to have everything at your left hand. I understand you're busy.
Stop fucking jerking him off.
If there's information you can provide so we can put it in post, just let me know.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Okay. So first one is Wu-Tang. You have said that you do not control the Wu-Tang wallet. You said that last night. You said that a friend did it. You said you didn't know what Wu-Tang was.
A fund did it. Yes, not a friend.
Right. Okay. A fund. Okay. On a podcast with Logan Paul about CryptoPunks, you talk about a call you had with Mr. Gary, where you claim to have bought and or sold CryptoPunks, but then later decided to roll the money into VFriends. And this is all like video, obviously. And this trading activity all happened within the Wu-Tang wallet, which we talked about last night.
Yes.
So if it was your decision, if semantically, if what you're talking about on the podcast, if it was your decision, your trading decision to buy and sell the punks or VFriends, even though you didn't press the buttons, was it actually your decision?
I know. No one controls the Wu-Tang. It's a brotherhood.
Did you press the button? Did you not press the button? Was it your decision? And if it was your decision, and even if you didn't press the button, it still, to me, would mean...
What?
No, because he's saying like every 5
trading
seconds.
decisions.
Yeah, these are good questions. Actually, I'm glad we're doing this follow-up thing.
But I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Put all this stuff out there. So, yes, I did say that on the podcast, and I obviously did not press the buttons like I've been saying. I didn't pick what punks to buy or anything.
I'm not too mad for him not asking these questions, because like I wouldn't know to ask them either. I wouldn't even remembered.
V, like I said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said CryptoPunks are the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy, but the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money and it's other people's money as well, and just said, hey, Gary V seemed very passionate about these punks. You should look into it. If it makes sense, buy it. And so, he did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. I don't even truthfully know how to buy punks. I've never bought one, like me personally.
Okay.
Like I've said, I don't have access to that wallet. So, I mean, in other transparency,
he doesn't access the wallet. He just makes all the money.
I just this feels like one of those questions where it's like, did you like senator? Did you have sex with that person?
I don't think
I don't know what the blowjob is actually. Like,
well, I don't think, here's another thing, because the crypto stuff. So I don't think oompaville knows what he's asking. He's just repeating something. This is something you should have answered, and I don't understand it at all. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But I do understand. He's always like, when he's cornered, he says he's stupid.
That's kind of high level how
it went. Ignorance.
But if he was like, oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought him. So he was the one who was doing the buying and selling and managing things.
Okay, but you did make some decisions to buy or sell in the Wu-Tang fund.
Well, I mean, yeah, I just told him like, hey, Gary, like in transparency, Gary called me about CryptoPunks and said they were cool. Look into it. I mean, so at the end of the day, bro, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know which punks to buy or which ones we should buy if it's a good investment. Like, that's why I put the money in a fund. And
if he's telling the truth, and he might be, that is not going to fly if you get investigated.
No.
It's like I put him in charge. No, you made the money. It's just like if your lawyer fucks up your taxes. It doesn't matter. Like you can't. I'm sorry, my lawyer fucked up my taxes, Your Honor. Yeah, it's really too bad. You're going to jail for tax fraud. because your lawyer filed fraudulently. I didn't know. I don't think about tax. It doesn't. Yeah, you're responsible. It's not fair, but it is. It is what it is.
Had professionals managing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's
I have no idea what you said.
But I don't like any of the NFT stuff. I'm glad that's all kind of come and gone now. I like the newer era we're in. Okay, so next is
the new era where you fucking rug pull with no end.
Where you get a blue check on Twitter and then just rage bait and get fucking free money for days.
Where you buy coins where you buy the coins and you say, boy, that seems like a good investment. Is that a good investment, everybody? And then everybody fucking buys it and you sell the fucking coins you already had that you didn't tell anybody you had. Yeah.
Super tweet.
I don't know if that's what happened, but yeah.
The super coin tweet. For context, on May 12th, 2021, you, MrBeast, tweeted in response to it was an Elio Trades tweet. There's a gym sitting there on the market at an eye-watering price set to explode during DeFi Summer 2.0. And then you responded by saying super ? With a crazy emoji.
Yep.
So why did you not disclose that you had a vested interest in the coin that you were tweeting about? Super ?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll start there.
I didn't even know I had it.
I didn't. I replied to a tweet, so I didn't tweet it out. And I think a lot of people, that are just getting second hands of the story think I literally tweeted out, "Go buy super, go buy super."
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a bad answer. That's a bad answer. Because he already had invested, and then he replied to something, and everybody, a Twitter account his big. Let me hear that again. That's a terrible answer. I don't have to be a crypto.
I didn't know about the tweet.
No, hold on.
Like he wasn't the one.
Well, I didn't. I replied to a tweet, so I didn't tweet it out. And
irrelevant.
Nick's also in chat, by the way. Sorry to butt in. He's basically said, "I have no idea what the deal with these punks are, but this is literally exactly what FaZe Banks told me on Mom's Basement 2 to 3 years ago." Is he also like a scammer or what? I don't know what that's referencing.
I have no idea what the punks are, but this is literally exactly what Banks told me from Mom's Basement. I got to hear what he said, first of all.
That are just getting second hands of the story think I literally tweeted out, "Go buy super, go buy super." The fund did hold some super, and I... Yeah,
but the thing is, he's replying a tweet. He didn't tell anybody to go buy super, but he's replying to something, and I don't know if he's doing that. I'm accusing. I don't know if he's doing this. But just by him replying, everybody's going to go buy super. And the reply is kind of feigning interest, was what I was talking about before. And then he sells.
I just saw that was the owner of super, the guy who made the coin, and I just went scrolling through Twitter. Just replied super to his tweet. I did not tell people to buy super or anything.
That sounds like a lawyer told him to say.
No, that would work if you were an average guy, but you're not.
You're not. Yeah, you're not. And you already had the coin.
Yeah.
No, that's a terrible thing. I didn't say it. I didn't reply. I didn't post. I didn't tell anybody to buy super. But you're asking questions about it. When you're asking questions about it, it's like you're interested in it.
You were drawing attention.
You're drawing attention to it. And don't tell me he doesn't know his own power online, unless he's just a mid-sized YouTube channel like oompaville.
Replied super. And I know the next thing where people are going to go, but this was a planned, coordinated thing. It wasn't. It's not like I'm on.
No, it's not. It's a red flag. It's definitely a red flag. It does not prove a fucking thing. Let me make that abundantly clear. But it's a red fucking flag. And the fact that he answered with, "I didn't tell anybody to go buy super," is fucking like nobody said you did.
On the phone with the people managing the crypto fund going, "Hey, I'm about to reply super to this tweet." Like, I just was scrolling Twitter and I replied super, and like I highly doubt anyone bought it because
get the fuck out of here. I don't believe a word he's saying. I'm too smart to fucking listen to that. I'm sorry, and I'm stupid.
No, keep listening.
They saw me reply super to a tweet. I mean, just to be honest. So I didn't think too much of it. Obviously, though, in hindsight, I mean, I could see how people might think that is a weird look optically, and so like I wouldn't do it.
Thanks.
But I mean, I really don't think it's that malicious. Like if I just flat out tweeted, "I think super is the next big thing. Go buy it. Super."
Like, see, this is what oompaville was talking about before. Like somebody may be able to take this because he doesn't know, and I don't know, but somebody may be able to take this statement and do something with it.
Like, I think,
and that's what he's talking about before. Like, look, I'm going to put it out there. This is for informational purposes. Do what you will, you know. And I wonder if that'll come back to haunt him.
this is a different conversation. That's the kind of stuff actual people do. You know what I mean? And like
scammers.
So I just don't. Yeah. So it was just
When I say I can't figure it out, I don't know the ins and outs in crypto, but I do know some examples of market manipulation inside. And so if he's sitting there replying, he's downplaying the reply as if nobody. He even said, "I don't think anybody saw it." Are you kidding me? Are you fucking joking? I don't have to understand the crypto market to sit. That sounds deceptive. It sounds like a deceptive answer.
interesting too, because Coffee never said I was a scammer in his video. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, no kidding. He keeps answering questions nobody asked.
There's so many comments on it. Just
right.
You know, a lot of people just want to
sus as fuck.
You know, whatever.
Good
luck. People who don't like me, like he said in the video, are not going to like me, and they're gonna run with it.
Just
people
haters
who do like me are going to be like, oh, it was managed by fund, and Jimmy has answers for everything. Which
and Jimmy repeats everybody's fucking YouTube talking points.
I mean, it's not excuses. I literally was just a fund. I was not the one buying or selling or anything. You know what I mean?
He's asking about the reply.
People managing it.
Right.
So that's the honest answer. I just replied super, and I guess if I could go back in time, I'd just not reply. I mean, I didn't think it was a big deal when I did it.
Yeah, but now, I mean, obviously, because
I think it was a big deal when he did it, because you know what? If it was coordinated, let's pretend it was, right? Like somebody comes to him, and this is just, if this is the worst case scenario, and I have no idea if it is or not, but it's like this, dude. I own that coin. I can't go fucking promote it. I was like, you don't have to, Jem. All you got to do is reply to it. Just fucking put an emoji in there. They can't fucking say you're promoting code just by emoji, can they? And put it in a reply. It doesn't matter. You're fucking MrBeast. It's still going to get a fucking million views or 500,000 views. And especially, you know who's really going to pick up on it? People that follow crypto. So I don't buy this idea that nobody saw it because it was a reply. And I didn't tell anybody to buy it. Like he knows his social media prowess. So that answer is just terrible. If I had to guess, and it is only a guess, I'll be honest with you. But I don't know if that kind of I don't know what the statutes are, what constitutes market manipulation when it comes to crypto. I absolutely don't know that. But boy, it sounds like everything you would say if you would manipulate the market. I'm going to reply in this way, in a nondescript way, about this fucking coin, right? Everybody's going to go buy it because I'm MrBeast, and I'm going to sell. But
it doesn't matter.
And you know what? I'm going to do it because the cops can't get me on that. You know, and the fact that he suggests that like, oh, nobody saw it anyway. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, he's gonna want to downplay this because I mean, this is just to give him a bit of charitability. He knows the thing that is left now is the crypto stuff because it's not Dogpack running that; it's CoffeeZilla.
Sure, it's a whole different ball of wax.
So this is what they're going to keep hitting him with. So I'd give him the benefit that he's trying to give the most careful answer possible because
my point is he might be giving careful answer because he did exactly what I thought he did, or that I just expressed.
I can
that's
see
what I'm saying. That he did that. It's like, look, don't promote the coin. You own the coin. Only reply to my tweet. And just be eyes, and it looks like you're asking or interesting about it, just with an emoji or something like that, and the rest will just happen on its own. Now, and I don't even know how illegal that is. I don't know if people get prosecuted for that. I don't know that there isn't too many people on the planet that have the prowess that he has in social media to actually create that kind of scenario. But he does have that prowess. There's no doubt about it. And for him to downplay and act like nobody saw it, it's just, you would have to believe he doesn't know anything about social media. If there's one person that knows more about social media on the planet, it's MrBeast. He understands every fucking thing backwards and forward. God, I bet I could get goddamn Nerd City to agree with me on that one. I could get him to like cats after that, for fucking Christ's sakes. I mean, it just makes no sense. All right, I want to go to the final thing, Shadman poster.
Well, there was I can just point out something. I think he does provide a link. So if you claim that you were you bought super after that whole tweet because of it,
why would he do that? Why would he do that if he didn't do anything wrong? Really? He said that?
Well, he does the same thing with the t-shirts on the lottery. He's like, "Oh, we'll provide refunds." Yeah. But I mean, again, This is the difficulty I come up with against Jimmy. I don't know whether Jimmy is just like really nice and he's like, I feel bad. I can't apologize because an apology will be like taken as an admission of guilt, but I do feel bad, so have some money. Or it's I have a load of money and therefore I can kind of just spend the problem away. Now, realistically, like what's like I can see the arguments from like the chat, like what's the difference? Like people are still getting paid out, people are still getting what at least what they feel they're owed if he's giving that option. But like I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one to have somebody in a position where they can
if he was being sued. If he was just like, all right, it's better to pay this guy off. No one's even suing him, and he's fucking throwing the money at them. I think it's weird. I didn't do anything wrong. I replied. I didn't promote it. There's nothing wrong with what I did, even though I already own the coin. But I'll pay if you feel like you got ripped off. What?
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. And here's another thing. I just clicked on the Shadman poster thing.
We'll talk a little bit about...
He forgot to ask about this?
Yeah. Have you noticed James Warren, LaCroix Hill, none of that comes up? It's not in the fucking... How do you miss these? Is James Warren still at the company?
Not everybody's as tied in as you are. And if I put my conspiracy hat on, he took oompaville because he knew you wouldn't say no, and he could sit there and say, "You don't have time to prepare. I'm coming tomorrow," and that's the only chance you got. You want the interview or not? That's
But Oompa controls the questions. And Oompa should be, because when he interviewed Dogpack, it was after Dogpack's third video, and they talk about the James Warren stuff. That is a key part of Oompa's video with Dogpack. So why doesn't Oompa mention this at all? It's fucking weird.
Can you explain that situation, that drama for me real quick?
So in Dogpack's third video, he accused James Warren, CEO, MrBeast former CEO or possible still CEO, I can't work it out. Also Jimmy's cousin, of being a domestic abuser. Now we did a load of work. We went through North Carolina's court records. We spent like 12 hours doing this. There's no record of this. It's either a rumor or something Dogpack made up or something someone else made up. It's fucking bollocks. Now, when Dogpack came on to oompaville, they discussed that video, and Dogpack says, "Yeah, it's not a third video. It's more of a 2.5. I'll probably take it down." It's like it was the beginning of the fucking end, really, for Dogpack in the real sense.
Okay.
So, but Oompa, this is what Oompa caught a load of fucking flack for, because he interviews Dogpack and just doesn't press on the point that Dogpack is clearly making false accusations that he doesn't have evidence for.
Why do you think
that third video?
What would be the conspiracy theory why Oompa wouldn't ask about that? Did he just forgot and drop the ball?
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think it's just fucking incompetent.
Oh,
okay. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I just think it's fucking wild.
I guess so.
I just don't understand how you can have a conversation with Dogpack and push
and see. This is why he should have rejected the interview until he had time to prep. Because but maybe he did. Like, Oompa struck me as a guy that measures. Like, you know what? Even if I fuck it up, I'm going to get millions. Oh, he did. He got 2 million fucking views, and it was under 1 million when we started. And now it's 1,066,000. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm not trying to like hate Oompa or anything.
I don't think it's the worst thing I ever. It's everything I thought it would be. I'm a little shocked about the stuff that came afterwards, because that seems like a little damage control before damage comes out. But I can't say if that's. I'm not familiar with that situation. I can't say it's incompetence or not, but it does sound like a reasonable criticism. If he talked about it with the one guy and not the other. So I don't know. Here's the thing. I more than likely, and if you want to call in right now and get me to look at something that's important to you, know the exact timestamp, and I will put it on, and then we're gonna end this thing. I think Jimmy is a Vince McMahon type. It's 20. Not that he shits on women or anything. I'm not saying that, but just sleeping very few hours a day, super hyper productive, and probably willing to bend the rules within reason. Which, by the way, all rich guys do, and all people that make big money, and everybody just walks the fucking line. And it's probably part of the thrill. Does it make him the worst person or the Antichrist or anything? No, not. Most of the accusations against MrBeast are salacious and slanderous and probably deserve to be punished. But I don't get the feeling. I think he talks in optics. I think that I'm sure it's true that he doesn't want to be here. But everything is done through the spectrum, and oompaville is just the same way of what's going to work on YouTube, including this response. Like most YouTubers, that's why YouTubers go, I want to talk about being sorry. It's just the same old stuff. It's emotional manipulation. Everybody does it. I get it. But does that make him the worst guy on earth? No, right? It just makes him typical. It makes him just a YouTuber. So, and being just a YouTuber is not something to get all up in arms about. I am more like every time I hear something about fucking Delaware, though. That's the one thing I got out of this. I get the fact that he answered that goddamn question. That sounded like something you would say on the stand if you couldn't answer the question, or that, or take the fifth. I mean, like I don't remember that. That should have been fucking no, and that is a red flag, and the biggest red flag, and that on top of Weddle knowing about it, people talking about that on water cooler cup is definitely not proof of shit, but a total red flag. I think personally, you are within your rights to think that at very least he has not been honest about the Delaware situation. Not in the way that Dogpack said, not in the way that even Jake Weddle said, but just the fact, what did he know and when did he know it? What? Who's that?
We've got Nick in here.
Hey, what's up?
I just want to say one thing.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to say that Jake Weddle didn't work there until after Delaware was already fired.
Okay.
It's more reasonable that people in the company would find out why he was fired than people knew when they hired him. You know what I mean? Like, talk could arise after somebody is fired because they're a registered sex offender.
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that could
so Jake
filter
Weddle
the
was being
office.
dishonest about that. He wasn't on scene and saw
Well, no,
Delaware.
he said everybody knows about it, but like, you have to understand this is the problem because a lot of these allegations are told in out of order. They're not done in chronological order.
That was the problem I had on Friday. I don't know the timeline, but it just seems weird to me that everybody knows, and as soon as they found out, they fired him.
Yeah, that's a super significant thing, though, when there's a company of 400 plus people and a couple of people who Jimmy worked with in high school, and over the course of 5 years, one becomes the other, right? So Jake Weddle worked there, I'm pretty sure in like 2020, late 2019 or whatever.
So he was already gone.
Maybe even later. This is way after.
Okay.
Like, Delaware gets hired when he's still working with people from high school and his mom runs the HR team. LaCoya Hill, all that other stuff is happening, is when it's a 300 employee fucking company. These are two important situations at very different times.
Who was the other guy that Soggy interviewed that knew something about the water cooler talk? When did he work there?
So Jake the Viking claims that he knew.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Garrett.
The guy that Soggy
which
interviewed.
one Garrett was.
The guy that got tricked into being recorded. That guy.
Oh, that guy. So what did he say about I don't remember.
Well, he's the one that said that he was, and then he said it was just rumor that Delaware was they were trying to get him off. Now, there's never been any evidence.
No,
to support
that. The rumor is. So here,
okay.
The trying to get him off thing, I'm almost positive came from Viking. Because Viking said that he sat down with Jimmy's mom. Jimmy knew they were okay with it.
So
and then I'm pretty sure he was also the source of that rumor. But Viking also said that that rumor is sourced from the sex offender. And there's no proof. It was told to him verbally.
I know there's no proof. All right, so
no, it's not just that there's no proof; it's that the source is the sex offender.
So the guy that Soggy was blowing live on fucking for everybody to see it probably was repeating Jake the Viking's rumor. Okay,
and we have no idea who if the person he heard that from was even working there at that point. That's the thing. This is this is so early in the mythology of fucking MrBeast that you're looking at all these employees. They all can't possibly know. There was only 20 people in maximum working there.
Sure, and it just probably hung there for over a while. Okay, I can believe that, but that's the thing.
The big thing with Delaware that I didn't know the answer to, that I've been trying to get an answer to, that in a public way that I could say, is that Chris Tyson used to work with Delaware. That was not just that's not mentioned in a lot of these things. But
Soggy deliberately cut it out.
I don't know how he deliberately cut it out because I only found out from Art like
it's
the
a
day
second after he uses a video and then cuts it, like just before MrBeast puts a fucking thing on the screen. It points to Chris's old boss, and he played that exact same video and then cut it off just before that little scene, that little annotation comes up.
Again, though, but when I thought about this and I sat there and I brainstormed with a few people, it kind of just made sense that there's no way that Chris knew. And the reason why I say that is if this guy is just openly telling people, by the way, guys, my big secret, I'm a sex offender.
Yeah.
At some point in the 7 years he worked there, Best Buy would have fired him. Like, he got in because Best Buy didn't do a background check on him. Which is clearly, this is something that he was not very vocal about because he survived for 7 years.
7 years over there.
So just to believe that just because he simply worked with somebody in the same department is like an admission that he knew. Like,
that's mind-blowing.
If this guy was fired from Best Buy and they
Yeah.
picked him up, I think that's a smoking gun. But like, I don't think it really changes too much in the grand scheme of things. I just think that two individual groups of people here totally fucked this whole situation up, being Best Buy and MrBeast to hire them.
Do you know Best Buy does hire criminals from time to time? They go through work programs. Is it possible that he's one of those guys that they will look because the crime was committed when he was 16 and they look the other way on that something
Possible,
like that?
man. But it's like a manager of the Best Buy is on a sex offender registry. I don't think you can do that, dude. He's still on the registry. You have to, like, this is knock on door when I move into your neighborhood type shit. Kids shop there, man.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't think that is that.
No,
even legal?
I think it was a safe bet. I think you can hire somebody if they're. I mean, he did his time.
Does he have to, like, every time a kid walks through the aisle, does he have to walk to the other side of the store?
That. It would be up to. I think it would be up to Best Buy.
Dude, I gotta go to the cell phone section. A kid just walked into the iPad.
Nick, let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Like, you'd accept, right, that the amount of weird shit surrounding Chris Tyson's history and by extension Jimmy's is like a lot at this point, right? There's a lot of different people they seem to have interacted with who have weird histories that, like, we'd look at now and go, how did you notice none of this? It's kind of like watching somebody walk through, I don't know, like a war zone, get to the other side of it, and you're like, hey, what do you think of all those people who were murdered around you? And you're like,
so listen, I'm going to say something, and I don't want to sound like a total fucking loser for saying it, but I've made about an approximate, like, 200 rape jokes this year on stream. Let's just throw that number out there. I've made, like, about 200 rape jokes. I've made... Like,
everybody give it up for Nick.
Horrible rape jokes, right? Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing, though. Like, if I fucking raped somebody tomorrow and it hit the news, nobody would be like, dude, they had to have known. This guy ran ultimate rape review. Okay, no, nobody looks at me and goes, is Nick okay?
Yeah,
is everything okay with him? Dude, when he put in the group chat the picture of the rat where it was like, I'm asexual.
Well, you know what really happened?
I don't think Jimmy was like, this guy's fondling children in his fucking
You know what really
mind.
happened? I would take the heat for that because I should have known because you've done Ultimate Rape Review. That's everybody else.
I know. And it's just like, but like, I don't know. I simply think that when
I did a background check,
I think they get fog of war. I think you get fog of war when your friend from high school is doing a bunch of weird shit.
How do you feel about the response?
And then simultaneously, for the last 2 years, a bunch of people online have been saying he's a pedophile just because he doesn't want to wear a fucking a wife beater and a fucking hoodie anymore. He wants to make his hair long and fucking take estrogen. So, I mean, to be clear, you're already getting pushback now because everyone's just calling your friend a pedophile because they're trans. And you're like, no. And then you start making excuses for the situation. And you find out, like, oh, wait, this person's actually a crazy fucking degenerate.
My last question. How do you feel about when he was asked balls out if he knew? And he said, I don't remember him saying that in front of my mother.
No, I think that's a stupid answer. But again, he also said straight away, like, that my mother told me she literally would never have fucking hired him and she'd have left the company. So he was pretty definitive there.
Yeah, he was definitive. He sounded like you. And that's one thing we know. Well, that's one thing we noticed. When he defends himself, he defends himself.
I promise you, I didn't coach
him. No.
Yeah,
I didn't say that's not an accusation.
MrBeast,
that's not an accusation. You would not. That's not an accusation. What I'm saying is he has his. I'm not. It wasn't an accusation.
If he did, no. But I'm saying if you listened to me, it would have gone a lot better.
Yeah, probably. No, he probably. But no, is he going to Soggy videos? Is he going to your tweets? And by the way, that's a reasonable defense. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with defense, but it did seem kind of odd that when I listen to MrBeast, I'm hearing Soggy. It doesn't seem like anything genuinely coming from him. Now that's a feels thing, I fully admit, but it's just like, you know what else he said? it's just like our private conversations. Yeah, I was a 19-year-old dumb kid. Wait a minute, Nick said that. I mean, like what the? Yeah, that's true, and it might be a reasonable excuse. But why?
He's obviously been watching the coverage.
Yeah, I know, and he's kind of regurgitating it. I don't think it's the time to be doing that. I think it's time to be giving straight fucking answers.
The time to be giving straight answers was 2 months ago.
Yeah, probably.
But he went, I'm going to do this thing not the legal way. You know what I mean? Like the right way.
Yeah, sure.
Parentheses, right way. The business way, not the emotional, human way. Yeah. So I'm going to go through, have this company investigate the whole thing. People aren't going to care about it. But now I can't really say anything because that could threaten the integrity of the investigation. And then all of a sudden that statement drops. And then overnight, right? They're filming these interviews at Beast. He's contacting YouTubers who have put out misinformation in their previous videos. He's flying to fucking oompaville's house to film an interview. He went and did nothing for 3 months, and it looked like he was just hiding, when in reality he was doing an investigation. And then once the investigation was done, he kind of just did everything really fast.
Which is dumb.
And just flew across the room. You kind of got his initial reaction like on a 3-month... he got like flashbanged, and all of a sudden he like woke up and he's like, holy shit, I did everything already. What the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? It's like you got his initial reaction 3 months after you'd expect it to come in.
Okay. Like just like quickly then, because I said this earlier. What do you think? James Warren, LaCroix, they don't really come up in this interview. Now, not talking about Beast here, but talking about Oompa. How did Oompa miss that? Because that was the focus in like of at least the criticism.
So James Warren is like thoroughly useless testimony. The main thing was that he was charged and he fucking abused animals. There's no screenshot that says that he abused animals. That never even came up again. His argument was, I heard you're a wife beater. I heard you got charged for being a wife beater. I heard that you abuse your animals. There was a scam on an old woman performed that was literally investigated as part of a major lawsuit or whatever or something, where a guy went to jail for 8 years and you weren't implicated. But I think he knew about it because he beats his girlfriend. There's literally no allegation there. There's nothing substantive to react to. He should have responded to it because it would have been an easy slam dunk. Yeah. But I don't know why Oompa didn't ask it. LaCoya Hill needed to be asked. I don't like comparing the two of those. LaCoya Hill needed to come up. That was a huge misfire by Oompaville. Yeah. But again, the only defense I can give for MrBeast is it wouldn't have really skewed much further from what he said about the HR. Like, what is he supposed to say? All he's going to say was what was in Soggy's video. They had an internal investigation that was performed by a third party. It was an allegation of sexual harassment, most likely, because if it was an allegation of rape, there's no way that third party would have opted him to stay at the company. The person didn't want their thing to be, the person didn't want that, requested the person not be fired, requested LaCoya not be fired. They moved him, and then when that person left the company, he came back. He can't really say more than that. If anything, Soggy revealing that information could potentially hurt him, because they're talking about the internal stuff that happened in the HR department with a sexual harassment allegation. Obviously, they don't want to name that person or have that person come forward because that would put them liable. So it's kind of difficult. It needed to come up. It should have been addressed. He should have put it to bed, but his answer would have sucked because he can't say anything.
All right. Okay. My
feeling... HR. When did you see the clip where Oompaville went? So how do you feel when there are HR things that happen?
Yeah.
And he's just like, what? What are you talking about? Does it make you sad when people rape at work? It's not what he said. But you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
I think MrBeast should do a video reviewing 600 employees' files live. I think that would be banger content. Could you fucking imagine? Just do performance reviews of a YouTube.
Hey, Nick, does he have to?
I wanted to get an interview at Mudahar. He wasn't interested in doing any more interviews in the short term. He wants that to sit, see what happens, and then I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, he
made the right move that way. Does he have to sue now after running his mouth?
God, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, no. Does he have to?
I think he has to. Yeah.
Optically.
It's working. What's the last statement Dogpack put out since then?
No.
Remember how braggadocious he was when he got the cease and desist?
Yeah.
I don't think that guy had a lawyer. I don't think so at all.
I don't think so either. He's dumb as bricks. So yeah.
And I think no matter what happens, it's going to cost Rosanna money because I doubt Dogpack could afford anything
still
here.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think you should go after Rosanna. I think
Rosanna's the most malicious person here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, can they prove malice though? That's the thing. Here's the thing. Look, I'd go after Dogpack, and I'll tell you exactly why. Yeah, there's no money. There's no fuck the money. I want to make him homeless for destroying my company and putting me in a position where I had to fire employees. I want to make you homeless, and I don't think it's unreasonable.
You garnish his wages.
Yeah, sure. Or make it something. You only make this so no matter what job you get. This is the most.
But he also can't defend himself as well.
Well, you know, MrBeast is making a new video. I paid 1,000 lawyers to go after Dogpack.
I paid 1,000 lawyers to go after someone who slandered my company. Yeah.
All right. I got to get out of here. Nobody came in to the chat room, so I think we're going to call it a night. Shouting out Patreons, One Family Guy fan, Abby Blackburn, Ashley B, Billion Bones, Blue Jacket, Cody Grill, Final Flash, Jeannie, Connecticut, Massey, Mrexon, Nesquick, Not Your Typical Mom, Oatbag, Panic Barn, Picklington, Reynolds Hughes, Long Timer, Taylor D, Tommy C's Cat, Trippy Savage, Autumn Rain. Actually, Autumn Rain got a freebie because she didn't pay for that shit. Who knows? Maybe that's one of my. I think a few of my Patreons are dead. I just get that feeling sometimes. You know,
well, their money still clears. Their credit cards haven't been.
I think of a few of them.
You think they're like too mad? They're just sitting in their chair right now.
God. Stop it! That's fucked.
Nobody's found them in 3 years.
Have lyrics check in on them. Jesus.
Right, I'm done. I have to go and get my fucking groceries that are at my house.
So you need to clip that.
Yeah, I gotta fucking want to set my groceries in my new house and not this one. For fuck's sake. All right, everybody. Good night. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're back to Monday through Thursday, so see you soon. Bye-bye.